Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for watching again. Now, I don't know if this is before or after I've done the Sigil shit, but, you know, it is what it is. So, I don't know what's going on in the world today, or what, but when it comes to the Palladians, you know, that star cluster, it's way more than 7 stars, but, you know, they were called the Seven Sisters. You know, being that my witch was a seven sister of a seven sister and had powers or witch-like capabilities, you know, she could read fortunes, she could get premonitions, she could also heal. Basically, your typical seven sister folklore witch kind of thing was my grandma. She was a practicing Christian and was told to give it up at a young age. I already went over all that in depth, but the fact that she in her yard would have what people would call crop circles. My dad's seen some as a kid, but their last place where they lived on Paragon Road, which is kind of like somewhere between Somerstown and Glen Walter, I want to say around my area. Basically, they she'd have lots of crop circles, being that the Palladians apparently been landing on and off of Earth for a while. According to the book I just read there, Elves from Canada, how the Palladians taught me how to live, laugh, and have fun again or something, or live life again. I don't know, I forget, some of that effect. Saying that they live in Canada, there's a lot of things telling us you don't hear too much of them living in Canada. You hear more of it being this place, that place, that place, this place. But in all honesty, if they were to live somewhere, and if they didn't want certain people to know where they live, well, they would probably mask it and shroud it. So maybe they don't even live in Canada, to be honest, or maybe that's why, you know, that's the only place that says they do live in Canada. Who knows? I'm not saying Canada has Palladians or not. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I don't fucking know. I don't even know if Palladians are real or not. But I do feel this strong pull to learning about Palladius, the star cluster that's part of Taurus. It's like the eye of Taurus, basically. And, you know, they are connected to Taurus and kind of Venus, which is maybe just because of the Earth sign, but, you know, they are the ones that seeded this Earth. There was one point where they were worshipping a golden calf, which would be the Taurus, which would be the bull, but, and, you know, the Taurus, you know, Toro, you know, there's a lot of Torah, you know, there's a lot of emphasis on Taurus, Torah, you know, all that shit. It comes back to a lot of that shit. But anyways, I've always felt a great pull to Palladians and thinking that, you know, however it works, whether one of my incarnations were there, or maybe it was on a different star system before that, you know, maybe I was a Palladian when I helped seeded this fucking planet, which would be pretty cool to say, but what a fucking thing to say, like, with no proof and just, yeah, my past life, I seeded this planet, you know, like, that'd be awesome to say. And who knows, maybe it is true, but maybe I was originally a Syrian who did the Palladians, or maybe it was, not Syrians, but, starts with an A. Anyways, I can't think of the name. But anyways, or it was from one of the other planets. Who knows? Maybe none of that's even true. It's just ways of interpreting it. You know, because there's a lot of things out there that claim Palladians is the new way to believe, reptilians is the bad, and Palladians is the good. But when you look at it from that point of view, once again, you're just playing into this whole good and evil paradigm bullshit. Like reptilians are bad and the Palladians have been fighting them off forever. You're playing in this bad and good bullshit, and I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I take, you know, as much as Peterson may not be mystical or magically inclined, but he has the belief that, you know, a lot of well-grounded witches that I know believe, maybe not all of them, and magical practitioners, but that evil is from us, that we create the evil on the planet. Now, there is traumatic things that happen, like sometimes nature fucks you up, And if you're not evolved enough, you can consider disease to be a force of nature, but that's really you just not knowing what the fuck you should be doing with your body, in my opinion. And it could be where you're living and things could happen, but you can always change those circumstances. So nothing is set in stone when it comes to your body and disease. But if a fucking hurricane comes to your place and wipes you out, well then that's kind of on nature. But once again, like we had some windstorms and all my neighbor's shit was flying all over the place. Okay, the fence that connects my yard and the neighbor's yard didn't get touched much, but there was a couple things that break off, and it's always the same ones that break off the pieces of wood. You know what I mean? And it's like my shit's all fine though, and I never have an issue. So like when I know there's a storm coming, you can't prepare very much, but you can prepare a little bit and try to reduce the effects of the storm. Because she's got to do what she's got to do. And if Mother Nature's pissed off, then she's got to let out those emotions, just like we got to let out our emotions when we're pissed off. And sometimes people get caught in our crossfire. Well, as above, so below. She's no different than we are. She's got to do that shit too. So, but once again, that people dying, if we're not told that we all go to heaven, we're told that, well, you might be going to heaven, you might not be going to heaven, but no one really knows. So when you lose somebody, it's pretty traumatic because it's like, what if I never see them again? Kind of thing, and which isn't the case because, when you die, you're just evolving into something else or you're just becoming reincarnated. No one really dies. The pain you feel is real while you're in this body, but once you escape this body, it doesn't go with you anywhere, and I know that can be insensitive when you're talking about someone who's suffering through a disease or, anything like that. But it's like, once again, them, their parents, people around them, instead of just buying into what they're told and fed, saying, there's nothing we can do, I'm sorry, but we've done all we can do. Well, no, you did not do all you can do. You didn't do any additional looking up other different religions, backgrounds, places. You didn't travel. You didn't order a bunch of books, even if they're as ridiculous as can be. If I had somebody that I really wanted to help, I would not just put all my faith into a doctor who's taught a specific way to teach people a specific way. And any other ways are just frowned upon and, don't even talk about that. That's rubbish, basically. So the point I'm trying to get at, I guess, is there's always another way. And, once you start going down the path I'm down, and a lot of people are down, you start realizing your thoughts create your reality. Well, you don't want to be taking in Palladians versus whether it's Anunnaki or reptilians or both or whatever the case is. You don't want to be taking that shit in. You can read about it, you can learn about it because it's fascinating. But once again, we have a real life history that happened that is hard to believe. And you're going to believe a fake, or not fake, but a made up or a channeled version of history that happened that's similar to the shitty one that they're telling you not to believe, but believe in this new one. It's like fighting against fighting against fighting. It's just, there's a way to, say, hey, these people are all powerful, but yet they can't stop evil either, because evil just happens. It's like, well, we allow the evil to happen. So if you're going to continue on the path of Palladians are good and reptilians are bad, well, you're adding to that reptilian shit is bad shit. And, all the power of the people going around saying the reptilians hold is no longer there and all that, they probably really understand that it was never there before. It was only a thought form concept that was holding people there, believing that that was actually happening. And then, anyways, I can go on for days about this shit. And I said I wouldn't be going into too much more philosophy stuff, but I want you to understand that I like Palladians. I like learning about Palladians. I feel like I'm drawn to them. Now, I got green eyes and brown hair, so I'm not tall with blue eyes or blonde hair or anything like that. So I'm far from a fucking Palladian look. But I resonate with that shit. That shit sounds like, and I don't know if my eyes are considered almond eyes, and I don't have maybe the nose for that. I got a big forehead, but, I'm an earth sign. I got Taurus, and that's the neck. So my neck's engorged a little bit more. It's like basically the size of my head. So that's what I'm trying to say here, I guess. What is going on?
All right, sorry about that. I got cut off yesterday. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you look into if you're the type of person that likes looking into Starseed stuff, that took me down some cool roads back when I thought I was, back when I thought I was a Starseed and all that shit. I still think I am. We're made up of stardust. We're made up of starseeds. We all have Taurus in us. We all have the Pleiadian star system within our chart, probably somewhere. It's all part of us. We are made up of carbon and all those other fucking things that I can't remember the names of right now. That's all within our makeup. We are this fucking big mishmash. But guess what? We have something we call the reptilian mind as well. Now, this is part of your ego. This is part of all that shit. Now, does that mean we're part reptilian? Well, absolutely. As much as no one will fucking say this to you, those reptilians that attacked those Pleiadians or that have been taking over this earth are part of you too. Just like Pleiadians are, Syrians are, fucking, I don't know, all the other planets that they talk about. It's all part of you. It's all part of you. Probably another way of conceptualizing, probably just the old, beautiful art of fucking, astrology, putting a bunch of planets out there maybe that are more relevant than the ones anymore today. But, you can look at all these planets the same way as, are you from this, are you from there, are you from there? But it doesn't, you're going to get the same knowledge within your chart. And like if you have an aversion to the Romans and Catholicism, anything that has to do with, the Roman Catholic Church. Sometimes people don't like using the Roman names for the planets, and I can be down with that. I can understand that. So I like using them because I don't really give a shit anymore about all that. I know there's power in words. The word is power. We can speak things into existence because what you say has a vibration, a resonance, a tone, and that eventually comes into being. Because at the end of the day, you can look at different creation stories, Bible or otherwise, even Sumerian, whatever. But they all start off similar. Whatever created this bitch, whether it's alien, whether it's religion, whether it's mystical, whether it's mythical, the word was with the creator, and the creator was the word. And things were spoken into existence. And then something had to perceive what it was spoken, what was said. And then naming it is part of that as well. Like if you have a problem, should have dropped my fucking camera. If you got a problem, drug, whatever, you can deny it, you can let it creep up, but it's there. But the minute you identify it and say, I'm an addict, I'm a gambler, I'm a compulsive shopper, whatever it is, the minute you name it, it's real. It's real. It's fucking real now. Then you got a label. You're labeled. If people find out that you are this, before that you can deny it. People will look at you a certain way. The minute someone finds out the reason you're late all the times at work is because it's not because you have 4 kids and your fucking life is kind of crazy just because of that. It's actually because you're an addict. Everybody's going to look at you a whole different way. Before it was like, compassionate dad, loves his children more than his job, just got to do what he's got to do. The minute they find out you're an addict instead of fucking just a good father, boom, that whole paradigm shifts from people giving you sympathy to people probably not giving you as much sympathy. Maybe some still might, especially anybody who's been affected by an addict in the family. They might understand a little bit, but no. Because now there's a name associated with you that has a vibration that's low, that no one fucking likes and thinks it's your own fucking fault and whatever. People are starting to come around believing addiction is a mental illness per se, and I wouldn't necessarily call it a mental illness, but I do like that line of thinking, and Russell Brand has done a lot for trying to get that kind of awareness out there, because there are people that are the same out there that are more affected and tend to gravitate towards drugs. Like I said before, I'm not the type that had I wasn't abused by my parents. I wasn't in poverty and around a bunch of people doing drugs and shit like that, yet I had this gravitational pull to wanting to do different drugs. I don't know why. To this day, it's something I gotta fight off. I don't know why. There's just something about opening up my mind and feeling a different way that helps me. That I liked. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. But there's something about it that I really I gravitated towards. I was one of those people, and thank God I got Jupiter in the 12th house, because Jupiter in the 12th house is, quote unquote, a protection. Now, certain people, they start doing drugs, drinking, whatever, they go overboard, and it could swallow their life whole. Well, when you have Jupiter in, sorry, not in the 12th house, I have Jupiter in the 11th house. But when you have Jupiter in Pisces, I have Jupiter in Pisces, he protects you. Yes, you have this ability to do drugs and want to do drugs and, experiment with drugs, but it doesn't swallow you whole. And having Jupiter in the 11th house means you make a lot of money, so that's probably important. It means you have some type of control over habits. And it doesn't always have to be drugs, but, that's one of the big ones. So, and, this can play into the whole being an empath and taking on people's energy and, because if I'm around people and they're having a bad day, well, I'm taking that on as my own. You know what I mean? Not so much now anymore because I know how to fucking deal with it. But up until 3 years ago, yeah, I can be around people, and if they're having a bad day, now I'm having a bad day. I don't want to go out anywhere. This shit got worse 3 years ago. And then it finally opened my mind, and my body revealed it to me why this happened. You know what I mean? But 3 years ago, well, maybe 4 years ago, when I was still working at the same place where my mom works, I was, anybody I talked to, if they were having a shitty day, I didn't even know I had to, but I started telling certain people, well, one guy in particular, that I couldn't hang out with him anymore because he was always negative. And likewise, when he was negative, I was negative. So I had to stop fucking being around him. And that eventually led to me losing the job because then he didn't like me anymore and started doing things to piss me off. And I'm not the type to just let someone do stuff to me and look like a bitch. So I called him out, calling him a bitch, and, ultimately got fired. But that's besides the fucking point. Well, I didn't get fired for that, but because they couldn't prove that, or maybe they could. Who knows? You never get the whole side of the story. But generally what I'm trying to say is, Jesus, I don't know, I went on a tangent there. Oh, yeah. I didn't have I didn't have a bad upbringing and all that to want to have to do drugs to just escape. You know what I mean? So between the whole taking on people's empathic, feeling what other people feel, being maybe anxious out in crowds, well, fucking alcohol, opiates, even cocaine at first, and different amphetamines, take that edge off when you go out into public. If you have some kind of issue with going out into public. So that's one way you can look at maybe why I started liking doing drugs and liking that feeling, because when I'm my normal self, it's harder for me to go out in public. And now that I'm aware of energy and shit like that, and I'm aware of I don't want to destroy my body either. It's a whole different, now it's like, it's hard to explain, but before I didn't want to destroy my body, but yet that ability would still rule me, would still want me to do the drugs instead. It's worth it, Now I can use that to talk myself out of it, because, Tom McDonald says it pretty good in the song Sober. Fighting demons and I know I'll win. How was long ago now? This is a fight that I'll fight forever. And he's talking about addiction, and he's not wrong. I don't think there's a certain point where you just fucking are over it, because you always have, unless you can get rid of the experience out of your mind, you're always going to have the experience within you telling you, yeah, your day could be better if you got high. You know what I mean? And that's the shitty part. That's in your mind. That's there forever. How do you get rid of that? You don't. You got to replace that with something else, better, something that allows you to sacrifice the present moment. Getting high, having a good day now. You got to sacrifice. You got to say, no, it's not worth it, me getting high now and not having money later, or me getting high now and fucking up my body later, or me getting high now and getting pulled into addiction again later. You know what I mean? That comes along, but you still have to get to that place. You still have to fight that. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I was talking about the Palladians. Now I'm on the drugs and giving a fucking public service announcement in front of my methadone clinic of all fucking places. Jesus Christ, I'm not on methadone, I'm on Suboxone. But still, I think there's a lot of people fighting with this shit, and I think it's important to talk about stuff like that once in a while too, about addiction, because there's a lot of people suffering from addiction, and like I said, there's a certain aspect of it that is mental that, so other people can't understand because they don't have that wanting to do drugs, where there's other people that do. And maybe it is programmed into us. Maybe there's certain movies you watch as a kid that make this more likely to happen. I don't think so, because my wife has watched a lot of the same movies as me, same as my mom probably, and my mom, you know, besides marijuana, I don't think has ever done any kind of drugs. Same with my wife. She's never done anything besides marijuana. And both my mom and my wife don't even drink all that much. They'll have a drink here and there. And it's more the idea of drinking that appeals to them. But once they start drinking, they don't even have much. You know, maybe my mom a little more now that she's, you know, getting close to retirement and shit like that. But still, you know, point is certain people aren't drawn to that. And some are, you know, two different polarities there. And then you have people in the middle that have done some things and cannot do it. Some people that have done some things and got hooked on one thing and fucked their whole life up. So I think Russell Brand, actor, is right when he talks about how there's certain people that can do drugs and be okay, and there's other people that if they touch a certain substance, they're done. And there's a lot of people like that, and there has to be an awareness out there for those people to not try these things. I mean, I was taught about opiates in school, but I had no idea when I touched fucking Percocet, fentanyl, hydromorphine the first time that if I did this too many days in a row, I'd be fucked for the next fucking, holy fuck, it's been like 15 years now probably. I don't even know, 10 years at least. I didn't know that. I had no fucking idea. And maybe that would have swayed my mind a bit, you know? Maybe. Who knows? Might not have. Might have said, fuck it, who cares? You know, pop it anyways. But I didn't know that. You know, I remember my back being sore like 14 days in a row and not feeling like myself. Like, what the fuck's going on? When I talked to some of the guys that, you know, I was getting a bunch of Percocets and selling them. He's like, oh, you're probably going through withdrawal. What? Withdrawal? What the fuck? What do you mean? Well, it's an opiate. It's like heroin, man. Like, you're going to go through withdrawal. That's part of the fucking... Boom, done. From that point on, I knew if I didn't have this shit, I was going into automatic withdrawal, and I was fucked. You know? And that was the worst thing ever. And over the next 3 years until I fucking decided I needed to make a change and went and signed up at the clinic and then got on Suboxone, which has an opiate blocker in it, so I can't do opiates even if I wanted to now, but I don't even crave it anymore because it's fucking connecting the part of my brain where the opiates want to go with naloxone or Narcan or whatever's in there. No, I don't even want to do that shit, but you know what I mean? And it doesn't have... You know, I don't have a reduction in testosterone like you do with methadone, and methadone it's got opiates in it. It's an opiate still, and I'm not dissing fucking methadone. Most people can't, if they did really, 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 really hard drugs, they can't get through the first 3 days on Suboxone, because the first 3 days of Suboxone has to, you have to be able to suffer a little bit, because if you've been doing something really strong like methadone, or fentanyl, or even that new carfentanil that'll fucking kill you, you're going to have 3 days of a little bit of back pain and stuff. You're going to have withdrawal symptoms, but on a very minor scale. But a lot of people can't get through that. They'll say, I'll try Suboxone, but then they end up going to the methadone. And, you know, who am I to judge, man? Mine was doable. I was able to go through those 3 days. The first day was a little rough. The next day wasn't so bad. By the third day, I was okay. And then the doctor upped my fucking dose anyway, so another pill. You know, then I didn't feel a fucking thing. So, if you are someone struggling with drug addiction or the like, any of this, you know, reach out to me. Talk to me. I'll talk to you about it. I like doing that. I like talking to people who are trying to make a positive change in their life, especially if they're not spiritual. I think we're made for this stuff. I really do. I think there's something linked there with people who have drug addiction problems and spirituality. I honest to God think there's something there, because I know a lot of addicts that don't find it a very fucking far jump to spirituality, to meditation, to opening your eyes, to a lot of this shit. It's not a high jump. It's not a far elite. A lot of people get into this stuff when they leave it. It's one of those things that, look at Russell Brand, you know what I mean? He's a prime example of that. And he says it probably better than I can. If it wasn't for this shit, you know, I wouldn't have something I'd want to wake up for, to do more than the need to get high or want to get hot, because working for a paycheck and all that shit, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not unknoble. And maybe it is part of the whole YouTube programming us to fucking not want to do that anymore. Which is another thing I need to talk about because, in this day and age, no one is fucking working from home. Everybody's working from fucking home and shit like that. People are kind of wondering why this shift is happening. It's like, wow. For the last, I don't know how long, but because of the different things I watch on YouTube, every ad that plays, maybe every 2 out of every 3 ads that play for me are, I can't believe people are still working in this 9 to 5 grind, something to that effect. And from like a multitude of people. Well, you think that's getting in enough brains that that's not going to change something? You know what I mean? It's not a coincidence that most people are working from home right now. It's not a coincidence. It's not when that shit's playing over and over in people's heads. You know what I mean? So if you aren't working from home and you want to, well, now is the time. You program yourself, but you'll have it within fucking probably a month. I'm telling you, it's not hard in this day and age to start something from home. There are so many online things you can fucking do and work from home if you're just willing to put in, a month of building up whatever money, work, whatever. And then, you can do like 3 different fucking things and make a paycheck just as good or probably even more than what you're making. It's not hard to do that in this day and age whatsoever. And, there's a link, man. The things you watch over and over again, those ads that play for fucking 5 seconds before you get to skip them, what the first words you hear? I can't believe people are fucking working in this 9 to 5. That's enough time right there. That's only been 3 seconds that I've been saying that. And most of them say even faster than that. And that's getting in your head every time you watch 1,000 videos. Let's say 900 of those have a fucking ad at the beginning because they almost all do. Well, that's 900 times a day. You're hearing that when you're focused on something else. So where's that going? Come on, you know that by now. Right into the subconscious fucking mind. Like, to everybody's subconscious mind, simultaneously being programmed that we shouldn't be working. And look what's happening now. Coronavirus took over. Everybody's at home working. Not everybody, I'm just saying, Time to make that shift. Might as well. If you don't want to go back to your job, if you like the time home, bud, do your mind a favor. It's trying to find the fucking path of least resistance to you working at home right now. Just fucking connect the dots for it, Let it do one thing your subconscious doesn't have to do. Go out there and find a way to work from home. Anyways, it's not what I'm talking about. I started off talking about Palladians, and then I jumped onto this big drug tangent. And I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess, anyways, I think I'll just leave it at that because I think I said enough. But yeah, Palladians and reptilians, we have both these capabilities. We've been seeing it in sitcoms, at least my age group. I've seen it. You watch fucking Family Matters or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or Roseanne, Home Improvement, whatever the show was when you were a kid you were watching. At some point, you saw that little angel and that little devil on one of those characters' shoulders that looked like them, or an adult figure for maybe the angel and another figure for the devil, but nonetheless, you saw this polarity paradigm play out, and they were their middle pillar in between the positive and the negative fucking poles. You've seen that duality everywhere. It's within your mind, okay? This is programmed into you. So if someone wants the spirituality to be like Christianity, or if they want spirituality to resonate with you, wants you to switch your spirituality, but they want to get into your mind, it's something that's familiar, what are they going to do? They're going to take a star system that's not of Earth, that you resonate with. They're going to take another star system that's not of Earth, but is like the demons, like the devils, like the bad side, the negative, plus the positive, and they're gonna sell you that idea. They're going to tell you, hey, this is what spirituality really is. Those Christians got it wrong. So it's not angels against devils, it's Palladians against reptiles. Like, come on. It's the same fucking bullshit over and over and over again. Telling me that the reptilians destroyed every world they ever had and they're after our fucking world. Come on. If there's a reptilian group out there, they might have more negative flaws than positive flaws, but nobody is all one or the other. You got more bad, well, you still got some good in you. Or you got way more good, you still got some bad in you. That's the best of us and the worst of us. And if you are one way more than the other, you might need to strive to go the other way. Because if you are almost all good and only a little bit of bad, then you're probably being taken advantage of. And you need to grow some teeth and become the other way a little bit. So you do something for yourself for a while. And if you're more bad than good and you've been taking advantage of all these other fuckers that are more good than bad, then you need to fuck that shit off and stop fucking being such a cocksucker and fucking do the other way and let people walk over you a little bit. Pay back some debt karma. Simple as that. These things, this polarity bullshit, us against them, reptilians against Palladians, fucking Christians against fucking Satanists, Illuminati against everybody else, like, it's bullshit. It's stupid. It's not real. We make it real. We create our reality. And the more people sell you this, the more your mind believes in it, the more it's possible. The more it can happen. The more it's gonna happen. Don't buy into that shit. It's not fucking real. It's only real if we make it real. And, you know, we can argue that's what's been happening, that we don't have this evil versus good paradigm where people are love and light, and then all of a sudden this happens, so now we're all cut off from each other, and, you know, there's so many ways this can be perceived, and, you know, not many of them are going to fucking do you any good, so there's not really a point focusing on them. You know, you want to make money and stay at home and all that, well, get that figured out first and then start becoming a philosopher. Maybe go back to school for philosophy or something. I don't know. But sitting at home trying to figure out where the universe went wrong so you can try to fix the universe, well, you're going to have a lot easier time fixing yourself if you want to fix the universe. You're going to have an easier time to be able to one day fix the universe if you can honestly look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? Fuck what these people are saying. I am qualified to help fix the planet and the universe because I was successful in putting my life back together, putting myself in order, doing my self-transformation. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. But if you can't control your household, yourself, your family, you know, if you have trouble going out in public, any of these things, but yet you want to have opinions online of how we should change the world, well then, you're not really qualified in my fucking book. Because, you know, how do you prove you can change the world? Well, you can't, really. Because even somebody who's done all those things, they haven't been able to change the world yet, or else they would have changed the world already, right? Or something to that effect, someone's going to say. So they're technically not even qualified for that. But in my eyes, I would listen to somebody like that way more than I'd listen to myself or some other fucker from his basement. You know, some random voice online on a blog or on a fucking video, you know, showing you what they want you to see that the camera can project. Right now, you just see the top, but this new car probably has dirt on the floor. Oh, no, it's not too bad. Oh, no, see, there's a few things. Like, so, I'm not the cleanest fucking person in the world. And you only see what I want you to see. I'll make this part look good, and the rest of it can go to hell, you know? That's what everybody can do from their fucking webcam, their camera, their fucking whatever's showing you. They're going to show you what they want you to see, what they want you to believe. They're not going to show you the real them. But just be careful of this paradigm, this fucking good versus evil shit, this fucking Palladians versus reptilian shit, this fucking predictive programming, Illuminati's trying to kill us shit. The Illuminati was a group a long time ago, and they were disbanded. Does that mean there isn't secret services, secret societies that are doing some bad shit behind the scenes? Probably. There's a video I watched recently of the 2012 Olympic Games. And the beginning, actually, I don't get scared easy because I don't buy into this shit. But, man, I got chills. And it looks like they're trying to... Now, this guy was some Christian guy saying the rapture's about to happen. The Nephilim are about to come. They're coming for your children. 5G is the real cost. Coronavirus is fake. And this is predictive programming, what was going to happen, which I think is kind of cool because this happened in 2012 at the 2012 games, and he's saying that it was a ritual performed to do coronavirus, and it kind of looks like that, but, you know, I don't really buy into that shit, but fuck, man, wow, it's fucked up, but, it kind of looks like that, that's what they were trying to do, and, yeah, right now it's 2012 in Ethiopia, and this is the year we're having this coronavirus happen. So was this something 8 years ago they tried to bring on 8 years ago and it didn't work? And then all of a sudden now it's 2012 in Ethiopia, so maybe it's really 2012 in our world, and some that are down the line our fucking calendar got hiked up 8 years so that they can do predictive programming for a year in the future and then fuck us over. Who knows? It's not hard to start conspiracy, like I said, guys. I'm starting one right now. Coronavirus was a predictive programming ritual done in the Olympics in 2012. Go watch that opening ceremony. It's on my channel where the Christian guy did all the work for you, putting it together. It's going to fucking probably give you nightmares, though. It's not scary in the sense of, ooh, scary demons going around trying to kill all the children, which happens, by the way, which is fucked up for an opening ceremony of the Olympics, I gotta say. My wife watched it, she's like, what does that have to do with the Olympics? She thought I was showing her some random thing, and I was trying to connect to the Olympics. She's looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I don't know, babe. This is the opening ceremony at the 2012 Olympics. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, what does this have to do with the Olympics? I'm like, it doesn't. It's fucking a bunch of kids becoming orphans, and the nurses dancing around like fucking crazy people, like they are today, and becoming robots, and then a big mass egregore, the Harry Potter dude, comes alive, and there's one girl he's trying to eat, and then there's a giant at the end of the whole thing, but a bunch of demons come out, affecting everybody with oh man, it's just fucked. And there's this virus hologram that looks just like the coronavirus on top of the fucking stadium that keeps popping up. Like, it's weird. Weirdest thing I've ever fucking seen. And if there was ever a time to believe in mass programming or Illuminati shit, it'd be fucking there in Britain, bud, where the Queen was in attendance. That reptilian old bitch. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I don't know. I think she's a reptilian, but man, sometimes she fucking looks like one. But anyways, sorry about that, Queen. She probably has done way more for people than people know. But at the same percentage, she's probably done a lot of bad shit, too, for people they don't know. And that's one secret, guys. You want to get away with anything evil? Do some good, too. And then you'll even your sides out and you keep getting away with it. That's how these billionaires get to keep getting more money, by raping and pillaging fucking people, because they donate to sick people. They help poor people. They build houses for these fucking people. You can't do that kind of good for somebody and someone have love and gratitude in their heart and thank you and send you praise and all that shit. Well, then you can get away with a certain amount of fucking evil and bad because you did a lot of good. You got people that hold you in their hearts in the highest way, that are praising you like a fucking god, like Zeus, like the Christian God, like Jesus. Well, there's no way you're not going to have a bunch of good fortune. You pay something for it, you get it returned, man. That's why they get this shit. So anybody who's rich, who's doing well, that you think is Illuminati, well, you might want to think again, because things get paid forward that you pay forward. And I said this before. Anybody out there who's like mocking the hospital system, I get it. I get it in this day and age, the pills and all that shit. I get it more than most. So I know that. But not all doctors are evil, and not all of them know what they're doing. They're taught something in school, and they go out and they try to help people, man. And they give back. They have to give so many fucking free hours of their service. You would not work for fucking free. Yeah, you're ready to pass condemnation and fucking and start judging the medical staff and get mad at the nurses whenever it takes you 4 hours in the hospital. You know what I mean? It's not right. Don't do it. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're doing yourself fucking the opposite of a favor. You're fucking yourself over. It's not going to help anything by judging these fucking people and thinking they're all fucking evil when they're doing more for the community, giving their money, giving their time to help people. Like, literally help people, whether they know they're doing more good or bad, or they know they do or don't know that you can fucking fix stuff in your mind and it'll fix stuff in your body. Who knows? But most people today don't even know that. So why would the doctors know that? You know, they're just trying to do what they think is right. So stop judging them. It's not their fucking fault. You got to start thinking that way about everybody. If people are ignorant, it's not their fault. It shouldn't even be considered ignorant because it's got a bad connotation. But it's not their fault. They don't know what you know. And who knows if what you know is even right? Who knows if what I'm saying is fucking right? No one knows. No one knows. I do know, though, you feel a whole lot better when you start doing the shit I'm doing. And it was able to keep me off of the drugs for a while. You know what I mean? And I'm still off of it. Because Suboxone that I take loses its fucking novelty. It loses its ability to want you to stay off of the drugs. You know what I mean? Like, for a while, you're good, and you're like, yeah, I want to stay clean. But if you don't replace that habit with a habit, you're fucked. You can't get off of shit. You know, that's the secret. That's the real secret. You want to get off something, whether it's any addiction, you got to replace that habit with a new habit. And hopefully it's a constructive habit. Because if it's not a constructive habit, then you can't get rid of it. You know, when I met my wife, I was able to stop doing different types of dope and shit that I was doing back in the day, because I've always had this affinity for drugs. But I replaced my wanting to do drugs with the fucking high you get when you first fall in love. But when that wears off, not that I don't love my wife anymore, but the whole honeymoon stage wears off, well, then it's back to doing the drugs. So then I get on Suboxone and I try to get off the drugs. But then after a while, that wore down and I wanted to start doing it again, even though I was on Suboxone. And then I found this shit. And I was able to stay off of it. Now, I've had a few here and there, little fucking slip-ups, way back when, not anymore. But, in all honesty, it helps me stay off this shit and it teaches me how to stay off of it, what I need to do to stay drug-free and all that. And it's just programming your mind, but that's the point, This shit seems more real than the other shit that's not real yet. Alright, I'm just going to assume this bitch is going. So anyways, so this is the candle from a while ago that I did the Sigil on already. See if I can remember by off my top of my head. It's just going to be redoing it. Now I know I'm in black and white, and that's alright. Black and white is awesome. I love black and white. Okay, connect this shit like so. There's a dot here, a circle, sorry. And the center here is where we put our circles. I'm hoping the black and white will make this show up even better. Generally the pink should be dark and then everything cut it out the light or vice versa. So we'll look at flips again, but they're in here somewhere, so that's cool. Let's see where I put my trusted paper. I should have been prepared before I started this. The house was
Pedal. Pedal. You gotta pedal. You gotta trust your body. You gotta trust your body to know that when you're going sideways, your body's gonna fix itself. It's your head that's screwing you up. It's your mind that's screwing you up. Let your body do the work. Pedal, and you'll go fine. You'll be fine. Pedal. Both feet on. Pedal. It's alright. Go to the bike fast, but it's not gonna change anything. If you're not pedaling, you're not gonna learn how to drive the bike, baby. Alright, so I know that seems a little harsh. Me talking to my daughter saying you're not gonna learn without fucking pedaling. But it's true. And just like anything else, learning how to bike, learning how to do anything, you need to trust yourself, you need to trust your body. You gotta get all the facts, all the details down. So, for example, what I'm trying to say on YouTube, how to do magic when you're trying to manifest, like the example of the ticket, but anything really, whatever you're trying to get in your subconscious mind. You gotta take in all the data, you gotta take in all the rules, you gotta know the 7 hermetic principles, at least the smallest version of it, and you gotta you have to take that all in consciously, and then you have to also understand how your subconscious works. But then, once you take all that in, then you gotta put in practice. That's part of your action, is doing the ritual. This is why ritual magic is sometimes a shortcut, because you get in your subconscious mind quicker, and you're also doing the action part of doing something consciously and impressing it on your subconscious mind. But then you can also take it further by going to the store. You have to do the action to get the manifestation, the money, the ticket, or whatever. But
that was my daughter. Like, that was her second time on her bike, and you know, she tried it last year or the year before that, trying to take off her training wheels, and then her bike tire popped, and we just got her a new bike for Dead Jesus Day or Easter, I guess, which is really just the first. It's the first Sunday after the first full moon after the fucking equinox. So, you know, that's how they pick Easter. That's why Easter was a different day. Look it up if you don't believe me. Which is more witchcrafty and whatever than anything, if you ask me. Equinox and full moon, come on. That's what we thrive on. Our fucking 8 special days of the year are the equinoxes, which means equal night, and I can't even think of the other word. The equinox, summer, and winter solstices, solstice, right? Anyways, those are the 4 days of the year, but then we also have our other ones like Halloween, which is Samhain, and then we have May Day. I can't think of the names right now. I'm a terrible witch. I know. I get it. But point is, we have 8 days, and 2 of those days are, and the moon is very important to us as well. And the fact that the Catholic Church religion, they pick the Easter Sunday to be the Easter Sunday they pick. Sometimes it's in March, sometimes it's in April, right? And some people are like, what the fuck is that? And what does it matter? Well, that's how they pick it. It's the first fucking full moon after the equinox. The first Sunday after the first full moon after the equinox. That's how they pick it. But anyways, point is, my daughter had to trust herself. She had to trust herself to do it. She had to realize that she had to pedal, because the faster you pedal on a bike, the more balance you have. We all know that. She didn't know that because she's never done it before, so she had to take our word for it. Her conscious mind was blocking. But your body knows, if you're on the bike and you're pedaling, okay, your body is going to sense you going to one way, is honestly going to correct itself by saying, oh, I got to go the opposite way. It's not going to say, oh, I got to lean more this way. Your body knows. It's intuitive. Your head can get in the way and freak out. And that's what she was doing. Every time she was tipping, she would stop pedaling and put her feet down. Her conscious mind was blocking her. That's how magic gets blocked as well. Your conscious mind gets in the way. Think about something not happening. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. Just like she thought it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to work. Yeah? Well, let me show you, not even an hour fucking later, what she did. In the same day, she's pedaling the fucking bike. This is her second time. Look at her go. Good job, baby. You're doing fucking awesome. See how powerful the mind is. You got it. You got it. You got it. Oh, you almost had it. Good job. See? Look at that. I fucking knew you could do it. See what happens when you... I've been doing that for a while now. So when you trust your body? I started myself and I ended. I know. I sent Mom a video saying I was proud of you.
Not too fucking shabby. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of a bad father using F-bombs in front of my fucking 8-year-old daughter, going to be 9. But point is, less than an hour. I mean, Dad wasn't there, and, male, probably part of her conscious mind, she was there with her mom. Subconscious mind receiving, she's a girl as well. Maybe that has something to do with her learning better than with her old man being there. And it's probably best that I stayed home to make supper. But nonetheless, there she is. And this was part of it. I was actually gonna come on here and say, and I'll show you probably, I'll get you by the end of this week, I'll have my daughter riding the bike, was what I was gonna say. And then my wife's like, come outside. I knew it. She fucking can ride the bike. And I recorded it and she's riding the bike. So awesome. I made my fucking day. It made my day. As a dad, I'm proud. This is what I mean. We're here to have a physical experience as well as to evolve our spiritual bodies, entities, our spiritual life, our collective consciousness, because some of us are more advanced, some of us are less advanced, and a bunch are in the middle. So the more advanced aren't better than the ones that are less advanced or the ones in the middle. But we need to realize that we got to teach people because we can still learn from them. Like my daughter, I think is more advanced than me, but she doesn't know the stuff I know right now, and she just taught me something, And more than that, that was more fulfilling than my first manifestation, Maybe not my first, because that was pretty, but, it's around the same thing, and something I didn't even do. But it was fulfilling just watching her do that, Brought tears to my eyes. I'm so fucking proud of her, So that's what we're here for. We're here to enjoy the physical, but we're also here to explore the spiritual, and we're supposed to evolve, And, whether the media is doing it on purpose, whether the elite's doing it on purpose, it doesn't matter. That is going to force us to evolve, so... The purpose of then being the dark, evil magicians, entities trying to enslave us and depopulate, it's helping us evolve. So thank them. You want to do something that'll overwhelm you if you do it right. Is your parents
say seriously if you mean it, but if you don't mean it, keep saying it every day until you do mean it, but say that, you forgive them for anything they ever did. You release their karma. Dolores Cannon said, the certain beings that came here that were from other planets to help evolve the consciousness, they didn't want to have kids, and the reason they didn't want to have kids was because kids bring karma, because you program your child, and the child has to break that programming, or else they're stuck in the reincarnation. Therefore, you're stuck in this reincarnation thing. I'm not doing that to my kids. I am not programming them to fail. I'm programming them to succeed. I'm going to try not to program them at all and let them choose their own path. But the point is, I hope they do for me what I did for my parents, and that was releasing them of all their karma. And, when I did that, my dad reduced his drinking. He started being able to save money. My mom started being so much happier. Is that connected? I don't know, but I did it. And the day I did it, when I finally sunk through, because my parents weren't bad parents by any stretch of the imagination, they're probably the best parents you could ever have. But, there's some things that I probably have in there that they didn't put in me on purpose, but nonetheless are holding me back. Maybe, I don't know, who knows? But I released it all. I let it go. It's not their fault, and I don't need it, and they don't need to have that on something holding them back, so I let it go, Let that shit go. Release everybody, even your enemies, even the dark magician elites. Let that shit go. And you know what? Then they can't hold you back. The programming that they have against you, if you release that karma, if you release that programming, you let it go, and you forgive them, and you really mean it, and you show it that, man, you're going to do yourself a whole world of good. A whole world of good. Frederick Xavier said, forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for you. Because you're holding on to the bad shit that person did to you. What they did to you is bad enough. But you holding on to it, reliving it, tormenting yourself is worse. Let it go. You forgive them, and then, if someone's doing something bad to you and it's holding you back, well, when you release that, it goes back to them. Everything, it's, karma's, the way we explain karma isn't the correct way, but who can really know the correct way? Point is, though, everything is energy, like electricity. It goes to a source. If it's either that source is using it, like when you turn on the light, well, then the light comes on. When you turn off that light, it goes back to source. Well, when someone sends you dark or loving energy, you use it, and when you release it, it goes back to them. So if someone's fucking you over, sending you something, and you fucking release it, you say, I forgive you, then they no longer have that charge on you. They can't hold you back. You release it, it goes back to them. Boom, done. So yeah, do yourself a favor and do that. But yeah, I'm so proud of my little girl right now. I gotta go give her something, give her a big hug and kiss again, and go outside and play with her a little bit. So you might only get the 2 videos today, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways, and have a great fucking day. Hail to the king. What's going on, everybody? Once again, you know who I am. Fucking videos after videos after videos. Well, 15 minutes is a lot less than 3 hours, but... don't worry, I'm going to keep it in the podcast if you were worried, but it's probably easier to listen to this shit. Anyways, I had a bunch of ideas coming to me, and at the end of the last video, if I uploaded it already, I'm guessing I have, I kind of had to, I noticed the time was at like 14 something, and I'm like, fuck, I got to finish up, because I only got 15 minutes on YouTube. So I kind of scrunched shit in there. First of all, Dolores Cannon didn't die in 2012. It was 2014. It was in October, and I want to say the 16th or the 14th. I can't remember when. So I'm sorry about that. No disrespect to Dolores. I think she's amazing, and I love what she taught, and I learned a lot from that woman. The whole psychic medium thing always rings true for me. Not that I'm a psychic medium, I'm not saying that, but, my grandma being that seventh sister of a seventh sister, and she totally was a psychic medium. She read predictions, fortunes through the whole fashioned way. Well, her old-fashioned way was tea leaves, but, tea leaves, you can put water in a bowl, do scrying. This person's DNA was in the fucking liquid at the bottom of the tea. You had to leave a little bit of tea. Anyways, point is that she was doing that with fucking a black cup. Anyways, and is that because that's in my blood? No, I think it's because it's programmed. As a kid, we all heard the stories about grandma having powers, so, and that's programmed into me. So, like I said before, anything that you've been programmed from a kid, it rings true today. Is that why maybe I can do certain things? Probably. Is that why I'm having sleep paralysis happening again? Is it because, sleep paralysis is just about, the whole REM sleep thing? Your eyes, or, or you have some kind of a thing, or is it really
So I'm trying to talk to you, so I'm getting a message to you. I don't know. Whenever I stopped being fearful of the demon thing I kept seeing, or like my wife's eyes turning into demons. I had dreams inside dreams. My dream process is always the same. Whatever room I'm in, I'm awake, but my body's still paralyzed, basically. But then I would see certain things. And whenever I got rid of my fear of spirits, I stopped seeing those certain things. So who knows? But anyways, it's happening more and more and more, and now I'm seeing other... Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. I got so much more to say, I have to say. So, what I wanted to touch on here, I guess, is the manifestation part. So, I was trying to talk a little bit about my ticket, because yesterday's video I put out, I talked about how to do a scratch ticket, and that wasn't my intention. I was just using that as, like, an example, but it rings true, because, like, after I made that video yesterday, maybe it's because I put it out here on YouTube and I believe in it so much. Maybe it's because, maybe someone saw it, people saw it, so it's real in their mind, and then it becomes real in my reality. I don't know. That's always a good way to manifest, though. I'm telling you right now. What you tell people and they believe, and their mind believes it, your mind believes it, it's fucking way more powerful. That's why putting public sigils work well. That's why McDonald's logos and shit work well. But anyways, but manifestation is different per person. But not necessarily in the technique and the things you do. I think everybody can do sigils. I think everybody can do the writing down on paper, but I think one of those is going to work better depending on the person's energy, their birth chart, their astrology chart, their makeup. Like, I have more of a negative vibe. I have more earth and water elements. That's negative. That's female, rather. Because for me, plus and minus, up and down, that's polarity, and side to side is male and female, gender. And those are two different things. I'm going to explain that a bit today using this. So I'm going to try to explain polarity, the law of polarity, the law of vibration, and the law of gender, and maybe even cause and effect a bit. But, you might have to draw some of your own conclusions here if I don't say it right out. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. But when you are ready, you come back to this video, you'll see it by chance, synchronicity, whatever. But first, I want to talk about something right before this, okay? Something fast. I know people get weird about witchcraft and magic and shit like that. So that's why, like I said before, New Age, even just saying spirituality, meditation, just things like that go over well. But understand that every negative connotation that's been put on witchcraft, saying we worship devils or things like that, Lucifer, all things like that, that was created by the Catholic Church. And I got nothing against the Catholic Church per se, except for maybe some family members they may have burnt. But, in a past life, I might have been a fucking priest burning a witch. So who knows? But point is, I don't have nothing against them, but they created that somewhere down the line. We didn't create that ourselves. Now, I do know some... All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's me again doing this same shit. Teaching, saying, helping, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to do it. What to talk about? No, I gotta keep talking about what I've been talking about. So, I know what to talk about. How to start. And this is going to be added to a 4-minute video that I put at the beginning of my podcast episode yesterday. I was supposed to play a much larger part of that book at the end of my podcast, but fucking computer. That was basically a test. Because if you haven't noticed, anybody out there who follows, or not follows, but who listens to my podcast and maybe watches these videos, if there is anybody that does both, I don't know. That's why I put all the audio from the last 7 videos on the podcast, and as an additional whatever to the podcast, because I did the podcast before I made videos, I added something extra on there. Just a 4-minute video I never released because it was never complete, and then I added some book, The Secret History, Witchcraft and The Secret History, which basically goes over a bunch of different types of witchcraft before and after Christ, and just kind of proves the shamanistic aspects of a lot of crafts. It talks about the Celts, the Druids. It talks about oh man, it's just too much to go over right now, but it basically explains how the devil worship aspect of witchcraft that comes along with it was created by the Catholic Church as a way of saying that the spirits we're communing with couldn't be the same as them. Therefore, if you're with the witches, you're against us, and that means you have to be killed. And it just fit very well with the thing I said about Jesus yesterday and all that. Not that I believe in Jesus or any of that.
I believe in Jesus as an archetype, not as an actual human being that died for our sins, as the main story we see in the Hollywood movies still here today. And whether, Zeitgeist was right about all the other stories that came before Jesus, like the story of Osiris, Mithra, and all the other fucking divine beings from all these other places around the world that have the same exact story. I think that's just more proof of, not necessarily that Christianity stole the story, although they did, but it's more proof of just archetypical story. Because here's the thing, Infinite Waters, and there's a few others. I don't want to name them all. I love Infinite Waters. I love listening to Ralph Spark. He's fucking awesome. There's a lot of synchronicity in some of the things we're saying and I'm saying, not like completely, but like I've talked about how the left hand, the left side, Hitler, all this shit reminds me of that, and it scares me that I think we start coming close to that. And he had a video not that long ago about that same fucking thing. I talked about the symbolism about wearing masks and stuff. He's talked about the same thing there, you know what I mean? And, it's not like he's listening to my shit. I mean, that'd be cool. If, every once in a while he listens to my shit and there's something that sparks something in him and then he elaborates on it even further. And, if I have only had 1 or 2 viewers on my videos, but one of them is somebody who influences a whole fuckload of people, well, then, I consider myself still useful and helping out and all that. So that would be just as cool as influencing as many people as he has, in my eyes. Because if I have the ability to influence somebody who can influence multiple thousands, 100,000s, whatever, how many people listen to the fuckload? Way more than that. Anyways, but, that's awesome. But I'm not saying that's what happens. What I'm trying to say is that's how archetypes work. We intuitively, anybody who's intuitive, especially with what's going on with the consciousness, the way people are feeling, anybody who kind of feels that subtle energy, even if they can't explain it, even if it's not like, all right, you don't get this message in your head like this is how everybody's feeling, but you start talking about how other people are feeling, the ones that are going to connect with you on your channel, the ones that are going to watch your shit. He literally goes on Instagram Live and people ask questions and he'll answer their questions, but then within his videos, he elaborates on that. And I'm telling you right now, that's like the shit he intuitively knows that people are going through, that people need to hear. So that's my point. The archetypal story of Jesus Christ is one that has happened throughout history. He's the ultimate perfect man who was discriminated against for just trying to uplift people. It's a story about how if you will go, regardless of the magic and the miracles, let's just put that aside, if you will go against the structure in a way, and that puts the people who control the structure in fear. They don't know your intentions. If they're fearful, they're going to lose their power. If you're doing it, for whatever reasons, who knows? Whether they're legitimately trying to look out for the best interests of the people, or if they're just power mongers. And I think it's probably a little bit of both. It's probably, that's why most things have committees with multiple people, and things shouldn't be necessarily communist, so you can have wide variety of people making decisions. But even that can be corrupt. So I'm not here to defend or say anything like that. Point is, if you fucking upset the establishment gets pissed off and things happen. Now, Divine Venus, Alyssa, I can't say her last name. Fuck, I wish I could though. I feel like I'm insulting her. And man, I just watched 5 of her fucking videos, and they just fucking dumbfounded me. Awesome, just the connection she has with whatever information is coming to her when she's speaking, whether that's just from years and years of doing astrology readings and books and all that, or most likely she's got a divine connection coming through her at the same time that gives her the correspondences. This whole channeling business of getting in this state of mind and all that. Like I said, the way the fucking world is working, the way the collective consciousness is evolving, people don't need to get into altered states of mind to necessarily channel information. I swear to God, it just starts coming through you, and you just start speaking it. You just have to, be open to it and invite it, basically. And not even that much. It's not like you have to say, okay, spirits, I want you to talk through me. Don't take over my body, but just talk through me. You don't even have to do that. Start talking about something you're passionate about and see what happens. The Mars energy will come through you. Or something you're passionate and you have love for it. The Venus energy might come through you. You'll see. You'll see what I mean. Anyways, 4 plus 7 is what? 11. So say 13. 2 more minutes because I'm adding this to a 4-minute video. The next video, I'm going to talk about how and why you should only manifest, or why the neophyte grade in magic is important, why going to a sacred spot and purifying it with the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram over and over again for 6 months to a year is important for you to do manifestation only in that spot, and how that trains your mind to only do manifestation in that spot, so that you're not, whenever you start becoming, because I'm telling you right now, you can, I'm going to go get into more of that in the next video, but if you're manifesting things on a whim and in fear and stuff like that, you don't want to make this thought come in your head about your mother, and you're so busy you forget to banish it away about, something passing and then something happening, is what I mean. So if you have only a specific spot that you do your manifestation in over and over and over again, then you kind of train yourself to that's the only place you do it. Therefore, you're not going to have to worry about that as much. Very seldomly will you actually manifest something to happen for you when you're just out and about. Like me, like the one time I was thinking about my wife hitting an animal because she never brights on, and then she in fact hit an animal because she never brights on. You don't want that to happen. That experience showed me that I need to make sure, program, and get it in my head that I need to make sure that I'm only manifesting things when I want to, which means in a circle at my temple. And that could be in your head as well. But as long as in your head you're at your temple, you can program it like that to work like that. And I'll talk about that more next video. All right, thanks. All right, so after that great entrance, and my bad for videotaping a video of a video on YouTube, but I love that song. It pumps me up, and I want to get people pumped up too. But sorry, I'm driving to get some fucking ice cream, some bullshit like that. But anyways, so that's 5 minutes, all right? So I got like less than 10 to keep going, but circle, magic circle, temple. Why is that important? Well, there's many reasons why that's important. Now, you do the lesser banishing in the middle pillar during your neophyte stage. Your middle pillar keeps you neutral. It keeps giving you energy, astral energy, basically, for your body. And then you go ground. You give it to the earth after you're done. That puts you in a receiving state, like I've already explained in previous videos. But the middle pillar, they say to do it in your temple and have a temple room, or at least an altar somewhere set up where you do your magic. And the reason is you're doing that. The middle pillar, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is nothing dark or devious. It's to purify that area. Because every time you do a lesser banishing, well, you're banishing anything there. And it doesn't mean, it's not necessarily entities or anything like that, even though, it can do that to a certain extent. But really, what you're banishing is any energies, because, without getting into thought forms too much, anytime you get in a fight with your wife and you guys yell at each other and you have a lot of emotion into it, but you can create some thought form that's there present in whatever room you run rampant throughout your house, and then that thought form, even if you don't pass on that charge to other people, like shitting on your kids or whoever else because you're mad at your wife, but that thought form is present in your home now or whatever. So doing a lesser banishing, I said a long time ago in my podcast, and maybe even in a video, that this is why I do a lesser banishing after my neophyte. That was, though. And I switched my temple rooms a few times. One was outside in my garage to be close to the nature. Then I was in the basement. And then now I'm in my bedroom. And, I do it in my head and my astral and all that, too, because you want to purify your mind, right? I think that's one of the reasons why I got a pretty clear head most of the time. But anyways, but it's energy. There's energy on everything. You leave an energy imprint on stuff. If you get something from the store, the people that made that, leave their energy on it as well. If they were having a good day, then you might get a good vibe from something. If they were having a bad day, then you might get a bad vibe from it. The thing might not work good. Ever get mad at your car and call it a piece of crap? And then you wonder why it stalls on you after? Well, why do you think that is? Point is, you do the lesser banishing in front of your temple to purify that room so nothing can affect manifestation when it's happening. You also call on the archangels to stand around you before you do anything. This is why you do your lesser banishing, and then you do your middle pillar as well, because then, if you're going to ask for something dark, let's say, you want to fuck somebody up, well, you do your lesser banishing, and that'll probably make you, you just call on archangels. They're not going to let you fuck with people too much. I mean, they're not going to. If there's justice to be had, then you can, but that's a different video. But then after your middle pillar, you may not feel the need to do that. But either way, if you're just trying to call something to you, you don't want anything around fucking that up or whatever the case is. So you banish all the energies away from that room and all of that. And over time, that spot that you did, let's say 2 lesser banishing of the pentagram every ritual, twice a day, that's 4 of those that you call on the archangels. You're getting a good rapport with the archangels as well. They're going to protect you all the time, basically, but definitely when you're manifesting. But like everything else, you're building up a habit, a pattern of continuously calling stuff into manifestation in one certain area. Now, that doesn't mean you still can't do the old-fashioned way, because ritual magic, doing things in a circle at your altar, doesn't mean you can't do anything in the now and the present. And you can impress on your subconscious anywhere. This is the whole reason, because at first I was like, well, if we're doing it in a circle and all that, then how is everybody performing ritual magic when they're in front of their TV being programmed and all that? And that's through repetition and all that, but you can definitely do magic in the here and now. It just makes it a little more dangerous. All right. Oh, I guess you can't really see me that fucking well, eh? If I shut this. I thought that was going to be a great spot, but it's not. All right. Up and close it is. Wow. Looks so bad. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, and I got 4 minutes left, something like that. Couple little things I want to bring up before I keep going, I guess. Well, I'll leave that at that ish for now. But anyways, when you do the curriculum, the neophyte stage is basically showing you. There we go, getting all light. The neophyte stage is prepping you, getting you ready. 6 months to a year to get yourself depolarized, so that, because the things you want when you first start, power, money, sex, whatever, aren't going to be the same things you want when you start becoming more neutral, more depolarized. So you're going to start wanting more grounded things, more things you probably need versus things you want. The difference between those as well. Is that a halo? My God, I'm more like Christ than I thought. No, I'm just kidding. But, oh, look at that. Light just shined down, too, when I'm saying that. It's fucking awesome. Anyways, but whenever I took a lot longer than the 6 months that it says in the book to do, Frederick Xavier says a year in each grade. But when you hit the first Earth Elemental grade, it's working on your health and your finance. So if you have the patience to do the curriculum, or you want to just do the 6 months instead of doing the year, then you start the second grade, then by all means do it, because then you can start manifesting money. Now, most people can't wait. I won't lie to you. I didn't wait. I started doing sigils and manifesting because, I wrote down a script to get rid of my job, to get a second car, to finalize the house thing with my bad credit, to get my mortgage going, and to have 10 grand to start a new business, and which I ended up losing my job first, and it took me a while, but then I got a second car, and then we got the mortgage going, and so far so much. Anyways, but I wrote that all down. That's before I did the curriculum. So then starting the curriculum, I was like, man, I can't manifest. What the fuck? I got all this knowledge because I was binge watching shit. I was taking a lot in, but I did a lot of just doing the rituals, just going to my temple. Like when I first started, I said this too. I didn't even know about the lesser banishing because I hadn't started reading the book yet, and I was just listening to Frederick Xavier. And then it was somewhere down the line where he said, someone else said they were using his class as their primary way to start magic, and he said you shouldn't be doing that. You should be using a book, and mine is to add, what he teaches is to add on, because he went over the importance of the middle pillar, but not the importance of the lesser banishing. And he said that's just as, if not more important. And I had no idea, so I had to fucking search that up, how to do it, when I was in the book the whole time. But anyway, so then I read the book, and I got everything down, and I've read that book probably about 5 times now, maybe more, and that's Cabal, the Great Work, Self-Transformation by Liam Thomas Christopher. On various of my episodes, probably in the last
10 to 12 episodes. So my newest episodes, you're going to see the PDF on there. If you have a computer or phone, you can open it up, go into your iBooks. If you have an iPhone, I'm not sure about Android, but on the computer, it'll pop up as well, because it goes right to a PDF drive or wherever I got it, and you can download that PDF and you have the full. All the Great Work Self-Transformed by Liam Thomas Christopher on various of my episodes, probably in the last 10 to 12 episodes. So my newest episodes, you're going to see the PDF on there. If you have a computer or phone, you can open it up, go into your iBooks. If you have an iPhone, I'm not sure about Android, but on the computer, it'll pop up as well, because it goes right to a PDF drive or wherever I got it, and you can download that PDF and you have the full fucking book as well. I don't know which one, but, maybe I can add it to this. I don't know. But point is, you're going to do, when you do the earth grade, you're going to learn that, because that's the first things you learn. And then it's like, well, okay, and that's the point, right? First step, neophyte, grade 0 is learning how to be depolarized and getting rid of all the energies and whatever, and keeping yourself in check, reject, banish, deny. And then the first grade, because then you got four more after, because you have 3 more you have earth and then the 3 other elements, and then you have 1 after that, I believe. So, that's what, 6 in total, something like that. Anyways, but the point is, you're learning how to become depolarized, because after the first grade, you get your finance and your health in check, and then you can learn a hell of a lot more shit that's way more important than those 2 things. And, when you start the earth grade, you probably still need your finances, your health in check. So you're probably like, well, why the fuck? This is more important than anything. It thinks to be the last thing. It's like, no, there's some way cooler shit you can do than just fucking finance and health magic. I'm telling you right now. It's pretty fucking wicked, man. Because I'm at the point where I barely even try to manifest money anymore. I don't really care. I got all this time on my hand now. It's like I don't even need to manifest money. I'm not saying I'm rich or I'm well kept. I still got bills, and I still postpone bills and make some people wait for their money. So, but no stretch of the imagination am I fucking loaded, rich, wealthy. But it doesn't matter. I know if I don't worry about it, it's gonna come. Let's get this light back on up in this bitch. Oh, sorry, everybody. Anyways, so before I continue to go, yesterday one of my videos was talking about candle, using the elements for magic and all that, and then the wax is earth because it's made from material, and then I said when the wax is melting, that's water, and then I talked about how the fire's on there, and then I said air, and I went to a more elaborate version of air being the wax at a high temperature boils in there, and we use the incense as air, and what signifies air on your altar, right? But even more important than that, once again, you can't see air, but you can't have a fire without air. So that candle has everything present. It has the fire that allows the air to continue going, right? It's using the air to keep going because, gasoline that makes the fire go better or whatever. Anyways, your fire needs air. Right? It needs it. It can't live without it. So your candle has all the elements in it, and that's why it's like you call on all the elements when you're doing your ritual and you carve something in that candle. Now, what you use carving the candle is up to you. I generally have incense sticks. Now I have, like I said, resins for special things. I have oils for special things. I like to, if I'm doing healing magic for somebody, I know that frankincense. Like I said, burning frankincense does negative ions. So if somebody in my house I feel needs healing, myself or anybody else, even if I'm sending it far away, I still dress that candle with frankincense. I rub it all over it after carving into it. I use an incense stick, and I offer that incense stick to whoever I'm asking. So if it's healing magic, for example, it's Archangel Raphael, probably on a Wednesday with Mercury. If you can get the planets to line up with Mercury's in Scorpio would be your best bet, because Archangel Raphael has the Caduceus. What's Caduceus? It's the 2 snakes. You know what I mean? So that's Scorpio and Mercury all together, all at the same time. But you don't always have to do that. But anyways, I'm a Taurus. My Mercury's in Taurus. My descendant is also Mercury. That's where my south node is in Scorpio, I believe, or right above it, right before it. Either way, north node in Aries, and so yeah, the other side would be, I think, anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, I use frankincense all over that candle. I even put on the incense sometime, but I offer, so if I'm offering the candle and incense to Archangel Raphael, Mercury, I'll put both their names on that fucking candle, and I am offering, I am, because, there's power in that, unless you're going to write Corey LeBlanc or your magical name. Both is what I would do. I sign my candle with my name and magical name at the end after, and this is just all to try to give you guys hints and tips on what to do. Now, healing magic, like any other magic, you run your candle where you want your intent to be. This way, all the elements see it and have it. You're giving it to the elements and elementals because you're calling them to you when you do your ritual, and then you release them at the end. You don't leave the elements lying around. The watchers stay. The watchers, you say, stay if you will, go if you want. Between us both, stay if you will, go if you must. Between us both, there always be perfect love and perfect trust. Okay, don't get in your head that watchers are evil and all that shit. Everything gets demonized, sometimes on purpose to keep people away from occult magic, because if they can do it, then, where would the people like having, little groups like having more power than others. So sometimes if you see something with demons and devils on it, sometimes it really is about demons and devils, but other times it's just a way to keep it away. Like I said, the Luciferian Doctrine audiobook on YouTube, if you listen to that, if you watch a certain one, there's a girl on there, and sometimes she's topless or whatever, just like screenshots. But, if you just look at that and you don't listen to the words, it's going to be like, what the fuck? But it's to keep the swine away from the pearls, You don't feed fucking pigs pearls or diamonds. You fucking feed pigs crap because they'll eat the crap. They don't care if it's pearls or crap. They're just going to see fucking food and eat it. Just like somebody who can't open their mind or isn't depolarized or it's not their time yet is going to see that, and they're not going to hear the message. They're just going to see that and think it's bad. So that's why that's there. But nonetheless, anyway, so you carve your candle, and like I've been trying to allude to, use the proper speech. Don't use the negative words because they have no effect, and we shouldn't talk like that. And that's another video talking about why the English language and today was promoted to be sarcastic and all that. It could be completely by accident. It could be so your manifestation doesn't happen because, when people complain about stuff, putting their fucking shitty emotion into stuff, saying they don't want this and don't want that. Well, if they have emotion in that, they're going to get that. So it all comes down to, what you ask for is what you get, basically. And if praying can fucking work. You just got to do it right. Once again, if you're praying by your bed every night, that's a place where you've been doing magic every night, and you're going to build a routine. But you would have to pray and thank God for all the stuff you have. Being grateful for the stuff you already have is a good way to get more stuff. But in the same sense, when you fake it until you get the shit, fake it till you make it, or you act as if it already happens, well, then you're showing them in the here and now that you've already have that, therefore you get it. It's just the way it works. And I've had many fucking conversations and podcasts and episodes about why this is, and that's not something I'm going to get into now, but it's the main thing you need to know. So I am offering this candle, present tense. I am offering this candle to Archangel Raphael as compensation for the healing of my throat infection that has been banished and replaced with healthy cells and healthy immune system to fight off further infections. I will be harm-free, so fucking mote it be Corey LeBlanc. Magical name and magical sigil if you have one, because sometimes you can just make your magical sigil. I use all three over and over and over again on every one of my candles, just to keep the pattern going. In this way, anytime if I'm around people and I have to do it, I could just do my sigil or I could just do my name. But you sign it. You gotta sign shit. You sign a contract. Sign the candle with your name. I use both minds because conscious mind is trying to tell the other mind, and the sigil is kind of like the combination of both. But another thing that's important to realize is, what are these gods and goddesses? What are these planets? What is the signs of the horoscope, like your natal chart? Well, these are forces within us. You can think of it as simple as not necessarily simple, but your mind, your head could be Aries, to your feet could be Pisces, and that totally works. And that's for your anatomy. If you want to see where you're going to have issues, you want to see where you're going to be stronger, so on and so forth. Where if you're a woman, you have Saturn in Cancer, which is the breasts. Well, you might have smaller breasts. I don't know. I've never checked. I know Frederick Xavier says that's almost always the case. And if you're a man and you have Scorpio, and if you have Jupiter in Scorpio, then you might have a big dick. I'm only 5'10", but I got a size 12 11.5 sometimes, and you know I have Jupiter in Pisces, so there you go. I got big feet, is what it's saying. So it doesn't always mean big feet's a big dick. I'm above average. Anyways, what am I talking about? My fucking cock. My wife would be pissed. Anyways, but point is, you can use that. But also, what are these energies? Well, this is why the ancients and other cultures worshipped these. And like I said before, I don't worship any of these things. I don't worship Jupiter or Saturn, but I pay my respect, my gratitude. I honor them, and you know, I give offerings such as, you know, I don't sacrifice. Well, I do sacrifice. Sometimes giving Saturn something you can't really afford to give him, but you do it anyways. And you got 2 smokes left. You're a smoker, and there's a certain spirit there's a lot of spirits that like tobacco. You give him your last 2 smokes, you know, without the fucking filters, the tobacco. Well, that's a hell of a sacrifice, especially if you only have, you know, $10 and it packs like 13 nowadays. Point is, sometimes that works. It shows your gratitude to these things. And, you know, just like the way people make pact with demons, and they say, you know, you have to give the demon something so the demon doesn't turn on you and all that. Well, you know, I've never had, but anyways, I don't do that, so I wouldn't know, and I can't really comment on it. But when it comes to Venus, you know, the dark side of Venus could be dark. Well, maybe that's why they gave it Lucifer. Maybe that's why Lucifer changed Lucifer Morningstar. It was Venus. But, you know, Venus to the extreme, to the point where, you know, all you care about is money and brand names and looking good. I've had that. I'm very Venusian. Like I said, my eyes are a greenish, brownish color, which is Earth. I'm a fucking Taurus, is my sun's sign. So I'm very, I've always been very athletic and very in tune with Earth and all that. And, you know, and I'm the kind of person that, you know, I don't talk much until I open up, and then I can't fucking shut up. So I'm very much Taurus, and Taurus to the extreme, where I was at one point where if before work I had to work out so I can get my muscles pumped up. You know, I'd work out right up until like 15 minutes before work. And then the whole way to work, I'd be flexing so I wouldn't lose that pump. So I'd go into work and people would see me as big as I possibly could. I did my own hair because I didn't want people to touch my hair. You know what I mean? Things like that. That's his Venus to the extreme, only having brand name clothes. And, you know, you don't want that. Only caring about all material. Your Venus is unbalanced. I mean, it could be multiple things, but to me, that's how it was for me. Anyways, that's how I perceived it. You know, you can offer Venus a fucking candle and help ask her to let up on that shit. And it doesn't matter, once again, if you think Venus is actually a woman in the sky that controls those urges on you. What matters is you're giving your subconscious a sign to do something. And if your subconscious believes it's real, and then that'll get through, and it will be ultimately real. But these things, these passions, this love, this anger, this envy, this greed, this hate, this emotion, empathy, all these different things we feel, they control us. And you can say, no, they don't. And why would those be gods? Well, I've said this before too, but it's because they don't ever die. They're immortal. They're in everybody. They're always present. And, you know, they can be unbalanced. They can be balanced. And, you know, but by doing things like giving candles, offering offerings, asking them for something specific in the present here and now. You ask Venus to give you something on, you know, fucking Friday, Vendredi Z, Venus, right? Then, you know, she'll give you that lottery ticket win, man, I'm telling you, you know. But if you are addicted to some kind of addiction, and you only want the lottery run to kill yourself some more with putting something in your vein or up your nose, well, don't be surprised if your subconscious blocks that, which is going to be another video coming up very soon, because I've talked about all the way to conscious mind can block that. And so subconscious blocking is also important. And I'll get into that sooner or later, but don't expect yourself. You'll probably win, but you probably won't win enough. You know what I mean? And that's there's a couple reasons why that could be, because everybody has a set amount of money in their mind that they can make, and it's kind of judged by your program, your parents, whatever, because sometimes you can manifest, you know, 50 grand, but then you end up losing 25 of it because you have this set 25 mark in your head, and you also have to get that removed. And I could make a video on that as well. I made it my own way. I know Frater Xavier teaches a class about this. He's talked about it a few times, and I've figured out how to do it myself in a way that it works for me, just like Birch's transformation sigil. He never really said how to activate it or anything like that, but just to use that. And I activate mine all the time. The one he uses with, I think it's Saturn, Mars, and the moon, the triangle, upside down triangle, and then inside is fucking Pluto. I transformed the You know, you gotta say what you're transforming. This is one of those banishing and invoking things. Transform this energy into this energy. You know, I will be so harm. And, you know, he gives a great example on why the triangle was used. Triangle sail was, I think it was the Vikings. Don't ask me which Vikings, but they came up with that, and that's why they dominated for the longest time, because before then, everybody had square sails, and they can only go with the wind. But the triangle sail allowed man to be able to go into the wind and use the wind. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what you want to do with magic. At first, you're syncing up with the energies in your body, right? Some of them rule you, some of them you don't have open. It's your chakras, however you want to look at it. They're not open yet, they're not balanced. You don't have the energy flowing through all of them equally. So when you start witchcraft or ceremonial magic, you're syncing this up with the earth. But with that has its own little problems. Those problems are better than the old problems you had, but you can get super horny in springtime. In summer, you don't have a great time. Fall starts coming, you start getting more lazy. You just want to sleep all winter because you're in cycle. You're in cycle with the whatever. You know, for women that stay outside too long, I hear that their periods syncs up with the moon. Just like when you keep too many women close together. My wife, even, she doesn't believe in magic, but she told me all the girls that sit around each other at work, all their periods synced up. I was like, no way. Because if you leave clocks that have the pendulum, eventually those pendulums will all sync up. There's something there, baby, and it's awesome. But point is, once you sync up with nature, after that, you have to figure out how to steer into that wind using that triangle fucking sail. This way, you can call stuff to you during the waning phase of the moon. But you have to be clever with your words, and you have to figure that shit out. And I can teach what I know how to do that. Not in a depth, but I figured out how to do things like that with different words and different ways to think about how waning and waxing works and different energies to use. And that's what I'm going to probably get into. I don't know if I'm going to make any more videos tonight, but that'll probably be maybe tomorrow. But I really wanted to hit on the circle thing, doing this manifestation over and over in the same spot. So that might be my next video, either tonight or tomorrow, and then the rest will be the other stuff I was just talking about. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. All right, so I guess I lied. This will be the last video for tonight. And it's just because I didn't hit everything I wanted to hit about the circle, and then about the elements, and then about the earth grades and how that all kind of corresponds together. So last little thing, because I'm getting tired, I'm going to start not making as much sense, so these won't be as good as my last few. So anyways, I guess to start, I'll say, so back to the syncing up with nature thing that I was getting onto with the whole sail thing. During your, like I said, you do your neophyte with the ceremonial magic curriculum. Once again, you can do these things on your own. You don't have to do the curriculum, and that's partly why I'm teaching this, because there's some important aspects. Fuck me, that's weird. Some important aspects to understand about if you're going to try to do this stuff on your own without following a curriculum. So, neophyte, you're doing your banishings and your middle pillar at your temple. You're getting ready. You're depolarizing yourself. So when it's time to call things to you, you're in a neutral state. You can use both sides, the waxing, the waiting part of the moon. But I'm thinking one's evil. You can use the push and the pull. You can use fear and love energy to bring stuff to you or push stuff away from you. Okay, equally, you're getting all used to that. You're getting that all set, ready to go for you. Okay. So then you get into the earth grade to learn about your finances. Then you get in the earth grade to learn about finances and your health and get those shits in tune. Basically, by you syncing up, when you're in the earth grade, you're syncing yourself. The neophyte grade, you basically, fucking Christ, I gotta turn the card on. Okay. So the neophyte grade, I was gonna say that wrong. I'm trying to remember, and I'm pretty sure this is why I gotta stop. But neophyte grade, you're syncing yourself up with nature while you're doing this. Okay, you're and because like there's more in the curriculum. There's more than just doing those exercises over and over again. And then I'll get you synced up to a certain amount. Go outside, putting your feet on the ground will also help a few times. But there's the cycles of the sun there. You have to say specific things at specific times. There's a few other little things that I can't exactly remember right now off the top of my head, but that helps sync you up with nature. Once you start the earth grade and it's time to take care of your finance and your health. Well, when you're in sync with nature, sometimes that can affect. It's not necessarily going to affect your health if you're really horny and you're really fucking tired, but you know, you're trying to bring stuff to you, and then you're having a kid, and then you need to manifest the money. So you know, but I've said this before. The after you learn the lesser banishing, and the next phase is the greater ritual of the hexagram. There's the lesser ritual of the hexagram, and I think the greater ritual of the hexagram. The first one, I think, is the lesser. But anyways, well, what this does is it reduces Saturn's effect on you, which in turn reduces the effect of all the planets, okay? It's the kind of the meaning of going from karma to grace. So basically, Saturn and all the planets kind of ruled you for a while. And you've been doing your neophyte, and you've been doing your rituals, and you're syncing up with nature. You're getting in tune. You're understanding these energies in your body. You know what they are. You're giving them offerings. The archangels are also, the archangels. There's one for every element. Just like you have the elements, you have the elementals, you have the watchers, you have the archangels. They're all there, right? So you're dealing with these things. So you're syncing up with nature. Now it's time to manifest stuff. Well, the book gives you a fucking ritual to do that reduces Saturn's effect on you, which reduces all the rest of them. Because Saturn's the furthest one away from you, but he has got the most pull. He's the ruler of this realm, even though it's air, but he's the ruler of this realm, right? Aquarius, we're entering that age, we're almost there. Well, Saturn, right? He's an air sign, anyways. But point is, you learn that ritual, and when you learn that ritual and you start doing that ritual, it makes the manifestation also easier by doing that. Okay, I swear to God, and whether it's because this ritual actually does something, or because that ritual has been programmed and a bunch of people have done it, probably in the thousands to millions over time, have done it and put energy in it, and they all agree that that's what it does. Well, now it's doing that. You got to understand that there's certain things you look at that you don't know what's been programmed into there, but there's something been programmed in there, and it doesn't matter, but on a subconscious level, it can affect you unless you inoculate yourself to that. Okay, and that's kind of what I was talking about with the circle thing that I didn't hit yet. I programmed myself to only be able to manifest when I'm in my circle. So that means if I'm out and about and I'm not near my temple, I can do manifestation in my head. Okay, but I make myself go to my temple in my head, backtrack my steps, whatever. Kind of like the same thing I said, that if I forgot to close the circle, I went to bed with a circle up because something weird was happening. Maybe I felt the presence, whatever. Put a circle up, that shit stops. I do a lesser banishing in that room, that shit stops. But in my head in the car, and I've done it driving too before, but in my head in my car, I backtrack everything, I'm back in my fucking room. Okay, and that's what I do if I forget to close my circle, because they say stuff about if you don't close the circle, or you don't use the circle, the demons could attack you and shit like that, and I don't believe that, but who knows? And so I still just, I don't believe it, I don't make fun of it, I honor the traditions that I've taken on. I just pick and choose what I want and then make fun of some of the other stuff. I honor those things because it's respect. You have to give respect to other people's religions, even if you don't fucking agree with them, to a certain extent. But you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I backtrack and everything I did after getting up out of where my circle was projected in my head. I backtrack in my head right back to that spot. If I can, I'll lay back down the spot if I'm in the car. Then I backtrack all the way in my head, just that spot, close the circle, and then I fast forward to where I am now. This way, because there's no time and space. There's no time in the astral realm. So, those things could attack you. They cannot attack you. But, you're going to realize. Anyways, so the point is, if I'm out and about and I need to manifest something, reject, banish, deny works regardless. But that's for the thoughts, right? So before something happens, you got to reject, banish, deny the thoughts of the thing happening. Like for the example that my wife hit that animal, I kept thinking in my head over and over that if she's turning on brights, maybe I should tell her. But instead of banishing those thoughts whenever I got them, I wasn't doing that. I just kept saying to myself, oh, no, I won't tell her. What are the odds? Shit like that. And then my sister and her boyfriend in the back, I get talking with them before you knew it. It wasn't a deer she hit, it was a raccoon. But it's still, she hit an animal, right? Things don't always work out exactly the way you want them. You can ask for 10 grand, you can get 20, or you can get $200. Doesn't mean you're always going to get it. Depends on a variety of things. But anyways, so I see myself at my temple wherever I am in time and space. And if it's because I want to do something out in nature in a different spot, well, on my temple I have a mirror. And a long time ago I read this book about, it was a visualization trick. And, you go to this forest, beautiful forest, and there's this altar with a temple. And then all of a sudden you look through the mirror on the temple, and then it brings you to, like, I think it was like your house or somewhere. Anyways, and then you visualize yourself getting whatever you wanted. I did that for a while, and then I got a pretty big check after. So I incorporate that idea. If I ever find that book, I've tried before, and I haven't been able to find it again. It's on one of my old iPhones that I broke. But anyways, I do that trick. I go to my altar in my house, which has a big mirror. Basically, it's on a mirror. And I look into the mirror, and then I project myself to wherever I am. This way, it's like attracts like, right? I'm in my temple, but technically I'm out and about. But anyways, by programming yourself to only be able to manifest things whenever you're in your temple space or in your altar, in front of your altar, if you do that enough and you get that programming in, then you don't risk having the things like I said, because killing an animal is not cool, but there's a lot worse things that can get into your mind. If you want to start watching movies with your wife from time to time, and you're worried about being programmed, getting into the movie and getting bad things, well, maybe it's something you should look into. But anyways, so back to those forces of nature that control us and all that, doing that hexagram, the lesser ritual of the hexagram, and the greater ritual of the hexagram, well, the lesser one reduces the planet's hold on you. Doesn't mean you still can't ask them for stuff, but it reduces and it also that helps you become less polarized in certain areas. Like I said, if you have a passion about something, you don't want to depolarize in that area because, suck all the life out of, all the fun out of life, but you don't want your chakras, once you start opening them, to be just overwhelming and then rule you. You know what I mean? You don't want to be all animalistic, animal mind. And, there's a lot of magicians that I think that's sometimes why they go to the dark side, because they try to fast track things. They maybe don't take enough time to do it. And some of these things take hold. Your first few chakras are the darker ones, the more animalistic ones. So if you only get those open and you think you're all that in a bag of chips, because sometimes you can only open those first 3 chakras and you can do some pretty good shit. I know I have, but you got to keep going up. You got to keep going up. So that's a little bit about those forces of nature. Like I said before, when you open that first one, you get that connection to Earth, and the Earth starts coming through you, and things can overwhelm you quite a bit, especially when you're removing programming. And this is good to, when you're trying to do things, if you get Saturn to, lay off a little bit of all the organization responsibility he wants to take on. It's a good thing, because, I was having some pretty hard times with my wife until I started doing the lesser of the hexagram, and then things seemed to reduce because I got Saturn and it was the 7th house, which is the marriage house, retrograde. So because they say before 30 to not get married, and I was married before I was 30, so thank God he was retrograde, so it reduces his energy on me already. But nonetheless, transits happen and things get fucked up and shit. So, but that's a little bit about the circle and the hexagram and syncing up and all that shit, because like I said, there's something to it. When a bunch of women can get together in the same place and their cycles sync up, or, when they're camping for a while, it syncs up with the fucking moon. Well, that's pretty powerful stuff. It's magnetic, that shows us that, if everybody says we're all one, well, when all these women can get up and it syncs up their cycle, that really proves something like that. You know what I mean? So there's something there to that. It's pretty powerful fucking stuff. Now, your altar and all that, the reason why it's good to have an altar and all this, because you place stuff on your altar, but it's all symbolic of your mind. Now, all these things that we do in ritual magic is to impress on the mind more intensely and getting in there. So you can visualize at home just getting yourself all, and that's fine and dandy. But when you do something in the physical or in your mind, but like at your altar, nonetheless, you're making it grandiose to impress that female mind. You want to impress her. You want to impress on her. You want to show her that you mean business. So you're using symbolism, That wand is an extension of your left arm. The athame is an extension of your right arm, which is your male mind and your female mind, which could also be, it's also air and fire. There's an air dagger and a fire blade. There's a fire wand and air blade too you can have. And, if you have a cup there and you put the fucking air wand in it, that's like sex. If you have a fucking pentacle there, maybe it's got some space and you put the knife in it, it's like sex. Once again, it's female and male. These are all symbolic for your mind, just like when you cross your hands for prayer, you put your hands on the praying sign there. Well, it's just like your two minds connecting, your left hand and your right hand. If you're doing it in the middle, Remember what I said about whenever you take your right hand is controlled by your left side of your mind, and left hand controls the right side of the mind. But when they cross that midpoint, you engage both sides of your mind. So you do that. You know what I mean? You're crossing shit. I think these little things have powerful effects. Don't ever think that they don't. That's what all ritual magic is based on. Now, going naked in your rites versus having a robe, that's all up to you. In my head, I could be as naked as I want. No one sees me. But if I have the option, I do it. I do honor that about the whole witchcraft thing. Being naked in your rights is a sign that you're no longer in slavery. And I take that seriously, and I like to show the planets that I'm not, and then I'm not ashamed of my body and all that, Adam and Eve covered up, so according to the Bible and all that, because they were ashamed. Well, I like to prove that I'm not ashamed of my body. And you can't really go out public. You get a fucking fine doing that. But, I'll show the spirits. And I'll show fucking right. But I do that when I can. Obviously, if you can't, you can't, So that's a little bit more about all of that. Like I said, I'll do the subconscious programming. But yeah, doing your ritual over and over again, following these steps is great. But if you can find way to incorporate some of these things that I said in your own little version of practice, and that's fine, But I would still say skim through some of these magical books for the practices to see what they say. And you don't have to do what they say word for word, but, there's a lot of these things that work because there's been energy put into them. But once again, the secret is whatever energy you believe, whatever programming you put in your head, if you believe it, it will work, okay? I know I say the age of Aquarius means, I keep saying age of Aquarius is us realizing we create stuff with our mind. I think that's part of it, but it's because I made this episode a long time ago saying what is the event, and the event is the age of Aquarius. The event is us using our mind to manifest our reality, coming to that realization. So that's why I confuse those. So I don't necessarily think the age of Aquarius is that. The Divine Venus Alyssa there, she made a great fucking video. I saw it last night at like 3 a.m. because I always wake up at 3 a.m. every fucking night. But yeah, it was great about what's going on right now. She really, I don't ever think anybody's one truth is the ultimate truth. I learned a long time ago that people say their truth and we hear things from channelers and whatever. That's what we need to hear at the time, like in the Matrix, She told Neo he wasn't the one, even though he was the one. Well, that's what he needed to fucking hear. You know what I mean? That's what I think people do. That's why we have so many different truths. And it doesn't matter about fighting over who's more right and wrong. It's because so many other people see things in so many different ways that one person's truth from someone else is going to dumbfound them versus someone else is going to have that effect for somebody else. And that's why it's important for all of us to share when we get comfortable with sharing. Anyways, call that a night. And I'll be talking to everybody tomorrow. Have a good one.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Sorry about that. This is using my daughter's tablet right now, and I'll show you why in a second. But, yeah, I think it was on the weekend last week, I started using the example of how to reject, banish, deny, and how that can be important whenever you do your crosswords, bingos, your instant scratch tickets, basically. Now, I'm almost always successful when I buy 2 or more tickets. Just one ticket sometimes doesn't get through. And, I generally make a statement of intent. This one was, I think, last Thursday, last Friday. Probably Venus and Jupiter, just thanking them for any and all extra expected and unexpected money that I've been receiving. Anyways, I talked about how I won recently the first time I gave the example, and then the next day I made some videos saying the same thing. I bought 2 tickets again, and then I was going to record that one, and I didn't, but then I won $7. And so I just did 2 again, and this time I'm going to record it and show you what happens. Alright, so that's not a winner.
Jeez, it's a lot harder than it looks.
Winner, gagnant.
So yeah, pretty cool, right? 3 last times I bought them. First one was a $3 win, I think. Maybe it was 7. I don't remember. I know my last one was definitely a 7. No, this one's a 7. 2 7s in a row. So, I don't know. Maybe Saturn likes me during this whole Aquarius, Saturn going into. So, anyways, I'm tired. My bad. But yeah, just wanted to show everybody that, so they don't think I'm just fucking making this shit up. I mean, that could be just fucking, that could be just bullshit, but in my opinion, it happens almost every time. So yeah, thanks. Have a good one.
All right. So what you just saw, my $7 winner. Woo! That was the last thing. Started taping it on my phone. Then I realized I couldn't use my phone and used the video recorder, the video camera, whatever you want to call it, on my phone to record the OLG thing. So then I grabbed my daughter's tablet, and I had to send that in separately. So it's all a big mess. But it is what it is. And yeah. That's pretty cool. Getting pretty lucky over and over and over and over and over again. Winning. No worries. If you don't believe me, I don't care. That's okay. Be skeptical. One day, it'll be true for you. If you're watching me right now, then you're either not ready for it, and you have to hear certain things that are going to push you away. Or if you are ready for it, then this shit's going to draw you in, one or the other. It's all up to the practitioner. You know, in all honesty, we are living in a time where magical gurus are going to be popping out of everywhere, on everywhere, and it's going to maybe even be overwhelming. And you're going to have to really make sure to resonate and not be fooled. Someone says something that doesn't resonate with you, doesn't seem right, but all the other stuff they said was okay. Well, do a little digging, figure out, just be true to you. I know those statements are fucked up. Let's just say it's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Well, it means go with what your inside voice is telling you to go with. Do what that says. If that tells you to fucking that ain't right, you get a bad vibe, but you're fucking saying, well, no, I like listening to this guy. And all this other stuff he said was real and true. Well, be true to you, man. Your inside is what's going to take care of you. Your inside is what's going to do the reality. And if the inside is telling you, hey, this guy's not right, or this girl's maybe not of my best interest, well, then maybe you should listen to that voice. And if you get a bad vibe about the shit I'm saying, then turn it off. Don't listen to that video. Watch the ones that do work. But like I said, people are at different levels. Like, I used to listen to Birch. I used to listen to a bunch of people. And, at one point, I thought E.A. Coetting, or E.O. Coetting. Anyways, I thought he was like, I never watched any of his shit, but I had an opinion of him. You know what I mean? And I come to realize that that's completely fucked. So then I watched some of his fucking videos, and I realized that, okay, well, he definitely has something against, people that are polarized against demons. He definitely is polarized there a little bit because he'll go on and on a little rant saying, but, it is what it is. He's not wrong. People have demonized things that were once not demonized. And does that mean those things are demons now because everybody thinks they are? Probably. But does that mean that's the only way to use those? Absolutely not. You can use them in many different ways. So it's all up to the practitioner. It's all up to the person. If you believe that these spirits are demons, then they're going to be demons. They might even torment you. Someone might even be able to send them at you. But if you don't think these things are demons, or even better, if you're not scared of the demon aspect or the good aspect, then it is what it is. Because, even the planets have good and bad aspects to them. And, if you have something going wrong and one of your planetary energy chakra, whatever you want to call it, within your body is unbalanced, and you're getting the bad part of it. You're getting the downswing, the opposite side of the pendulum at the moment. Well, you might think there's a demon fucking with you, when really it's just Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, trying to teach you a fucking lesson. Even Mercury goes retrograde and fucks shit up. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily always demons and demonic bullshit. Yeah, you know, I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. I've made it very clear that when I started, I'm just here to be another voice to say this stuff's true. I didn't just pop out whenever we're going through this pandemic where people are, you know, at home all the time and trying to manipulate that. I talked about making a program, but I still haven't started because I'm a procrastinator to the core. Fuck. So I'm not trying to sell anything to anybody. I'm not, you know, I've said it many times. If you download, you download. If you don't, you don't. If you fucking can do whatever you want to my videos and my shit. I'm not here to make the money off the shit. If the money comes in, that's great. I like saying this stuff just to say this stuff. I'm not trying to get hits. I'm not trying to get views. I'm not trying to make a dime off of this. I don't really give two shits. Like I just said, I just told my wife there was a bike, crotch rocket bike. I don't know. I think it was a Yamaha. It wasn't 1,000 cc's. It wasn't like it was a ninja style, but I don't know. I didn't see the word ninja. Anyways, for sale. It's probably, you know, within my price range. So I told my wife when we were driving by, I'm like, fuck. Until all this corona shit happened, I'm like, that was my plan. So what? I'm like, well, I know you don't believe in whatever. You think everything's just coincidence, but I'm like, this is why I haven't been doing money magic, or one of the reasons. I mean, I've been really fucking focusing on self-transformation, you know, and so I can get up a few levels before I just keep trying to manifest money, and it takes forever, and then I get down on myself, and then I waste all that time trying to manifest one fucking thing instead of getting a bunch of self-transformation done, and then the manifestation happens faster. But anyways, the other reason was that come summertime, I wanted to buy a fucking crotch rocket. This way you could have the car, or if I had to go to work and back, or just do my fucking things, I could just do my things on my fucking bike, and then get my little break and drive around, and, you know, have a little sense of freedom. And I've always liked their bikes. I've always liked fucking motorcycles. I've always liked BMX, you know. But anyways, I said, now that the corona shit happened, I'm like, there's really no point to doing that. And I'm not in any fear or lack or in scarcity, I guess would be the word. I'm in abundance. I try to be as in abundance as possible. Because, you know, you first have to empty your cup completely. Because if you think your cup's already full, if you think you already have all the knowledge, but then if you think you already know everything, on how can anything come inside you? And more than that, if your knowledge is built on this old system, well, then the shit your cup's filled with, it's got it won't mix well with the stuff you need to put in it. What I'm trying to say is, you know, the cup is the sign of emotions, and, you know, the sign of abundance is not necessarily the pentacle, it's actually the cup in tarot. It's the wall, it's the cup, the female, one of the female, Earth is also female, but regardless though, the cup, you have to empty out. What is emptying out? Well, that's emptying out your fucking programming, your old shit that you believed that you thought was real. You break down those walls, that programming. Once you're empty, you're an empty vessel, then you get filled up. The Divine Venus, Alyssa there, she talks about how women are the divine and all that, and I mean, she's probably absolutely right. But the way I interpret it is like that. We all have to become that version of the divine, of the female, the divine female, which is we are all the cups. And because for so long we've had all this bullshit programming put into us, okay, we're full of bullshit belief systems, BS, okay, that we have to remove all those out of our fucking vessel, out of our cup, so that we can refill it with what's supposed to be there now, or the new ones that we want. If we want abundance, we can have it. We don't have to sit on welfare if we can't work. We don't have to work a job we fucking hate. We don't have to sacrifice everything. You have to sacrifice some things. I mean, you can't just not sacrifice and get and not give a goddamn thing. It don't work like that. I hate to tell anybody who says that. It's not just like that. But you can choose what you want to happen and work towards it and sacrifice to the right people and to the right fucking things and to the right
whatever. Whether it's a group you're trying to help and to be ahead of that group, to teach that group, whether it's whatever it is you're trying to do, there's circumstances, there's shit circling that, and to get into that community, to be part of that community, to, if that's online, if you want to do something like, podcast or become popular on YouTube or teach people or something like that, well, what do you got to do? You got to start serving the people that you want to eventually watch you. You start making the fucking videos, make the fucking podcast, maybe make a program, maybe start writing a fucking book, do something and start serving them. But just to say I want to do that and keep manifesting without making a channel or start making content is just silly. How is the stuff going to come out you to teach if you don't start it, right? So that's just an example, and it's just because that's kind of like the way I'm going. But once again, I'm not doing it to make money, but in the same sense, it is what it is. I know that if you teach and you teach something that is worth something, well then it's going to get paid back forward to you. Whether that's in the form of actually making money on YouTube via whatever people fucking buying something I'm selling, or paid subscription service or something like that, or if it's in my regular, like I said before, I've been doing this podcast now for 6 to 8 months. I think actually it'll probably be a year in June. I think it is. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd have to check. But anyways, point is, my life's been okay. I've had its ups and downs. We had some good times, some bad times, but we've never been without. And I've only been working since September, in the last 3 fucking years. So between the manifestations that I've done myself that I'm aware of, and the manifestations of money and me being kept okay and shit like that, by maybe giving something of value and then it returning to me, and not having to worry about certain bills, other bills disappearing, other bills getting paid whenever no one's claimed payment of them, to all these weird things that have happened. Maybe that's the way I'm getting paid back right now. Therefore, that's why I always say I don't really worry about the downloads or the fucking subscriptions or the followers, because everything seems to work out. I want something, I get it, besides maybe the fucking motorcycle that I was just talking about, but besides that, every time I want something, there's a $149 fucking sword at the pawn shop, and I bought it the other day, and then to some people, $149 isn't a lot. To me, that's enough money that it's not something I can normally just go somewhere and spend on something, right? We generally have that money in the bank, but it's really not available for that level. For me and my wife, we're more like $40 to $60 impulsive buys is our price range, which is probably still too much to do, in my opinion. Kind of like a $20 impulsive. But the $149 sword was fucking sick, man. And I, wanted it. I had to have it. So, got it. It is what it is. Now I don't have to use my machete for...
What door is she saying?
That other shit I was talking about, the location.
Yeah, I was just saying this up, and I'm gonna come back
I don't really fuck with that shit, but fuck the demons, I don't know what to tell you about that. I want this sword just to put over top my temple, bless it. It is what it is, it's nice to have a sword. But anyways, I'm off the topic. I don't even know what the topic is. Oh yeah, those magical shits. The book I promote, and not because I'm getting a kickback or anything like that. I didn't even pay for it, but Great Work of Self-Transformation by Thomas Christopher Kabbalah. It's a great book. There's a lot of power in Kabbalah, period, because Judaism, the Tarot,
Bluetooth pairing.
which
Bluetooth connected.
With the High Priestess, which is a symbol of the moon, by the way, and it's not actually a moon card for anybody out there. I was curious. And where's the moon? Well, it's at the goddess's fucking feet. And what is she between? The two pillars. The pillar of Yakin and the pillar of Boaz. That, my friends, is Kabbalah. That is what the book Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation teaches. This tree of life shit. The tree of life is in between those two pillars, and there is a middle pillar that goes up the center, and you have to go up all the Sephiroth, and that's what this book teaches you, how to use the Sephiroths properly. And through the Sephiroths opening, you can open your different channels of energy. This is one of the reasons I do microcosmic orbit in conjunction with just the middle pillar exercises and lesser banishing, because the microcosmic orbit has 12 energy centers we have to open. Okay? What's 12? Well, it's the 2 fucking pillars plus the 10 Sephiroth. That's how I view. That's how I view. Now, well, how would that react in your body? Well, on your body, you can look at all your energy centers that you see there in your body. And you can maybe look at your 2 poles, as in 2 fucking legs. And your 2 arms would be part of your 2 poles, basically, coming up. Not necessarily, but, it is. This is just a way to perceive it, okay? You don't have to take this as gospel or fucking the word of God or anything like that. I'm just explaining to you just a way to conceptualize it, okay? And then, anyways, if you ever did the microcosmic orbit, you hear what he says, you hear where all the energy centers are. It's not hard to put this in perspective when you do it. And it's a great way to channel energy for anything from fucking thought forms to just being able to do manifestation. In my opinion, microcosmic orbit, if you're doing that, and the way I do it is I put on the microcosmic orbit it's on my playlist if you look at my channel on YouTube, but I listen to that bitch, okay? Sometimes I just start it right where he starts with the lower Danishion, Dantion, Danishion is what, I don't know, anyways, but that's where your ki, your chi, your ki, QY or CHI, which some people call it chi, but it's ki even though it's CH, and it's ki if it's QI. But anyways, your chi or your ki, that's where it comes from. From there, you release it down to your sacral, and then down to your, it's called, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically in line with your root chakra, and then you go down to your feet. After your root chakra, which would be your Earth Star chakra, it takes that into account. But so does the fucking middle pillar, because the last words you say with the middle pillar, you should be visualizing your feet in the ground and the circle being above and below the ground. And you're going to say, well, how is that possible whenever you're supposed to be in the astral plane? Well, it's supposed to be in the astral plane when you do your Kabbalistic cross there, and then when you do your lesser banishing, okay? But I've made it very clear on podcasts and all that if I'm doing a lesser banishing in somebody's bedroom, like one of my child's bedrooms, I do it there. But I visualize myself, like my higher self, my soul, being in the astral, and me being in real time in that person's room at the same time. So it's a little harder to do because you got to have like a double split screen in your fucking mind of you once in the astral and then you once in real time. But this is another way to do what I just said. If you want to picture your feet in the ground, you want to get that Earth Star chakra opened up, which brings up the energy once your root's open. But even if your root's not open, it's still a good thing to do. Either way, if you're doing the middle pillar and doing the lesser banishing, your fucking your Earth Star chakra's open and your root's open. You could be still unbalanced, you could still have issues there, but it's open nonetheless, and you're on your way. And that's being open is better. Being open and unbalanced is better than being closed off and fucking, not open at all. So give yourself a pat in the back. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't fucking think as other people say shit that they're more advanced than you. If you're feeling like you're not as advanced as you should be, well, do something about that. Show your mind that, no, you are more advanced. Look at stuff that makes you feel good for a little bit. Get yourself in a good mood. Maybe eat some chocolate. Open up your mind a little bit there. Chocolate makes your mind more like plastic. Probably the reason why sugar's in everything. It's easier to mind fuck us all if we have sugar in us. This has been proven that chocolate, especially dark chocolate, but chocolate in general, dark chocolate's good for your brain versus regular chocolate is better for mind fucking us.
But, you know, you want to you give a girl some fucking chocolate and shit like that, you know, and she'll start hanging off your words a little bit better, you know. Anything is like that. It's chocolate, giving people hugs, you know, opens up fucking the same things. It makes you want, you know, give someone a hug and then start talking to them. They're more involved in your conversation than if you just like wave. Anyways. Oh, this is stuff I already went over and I don't want to go over it again. But I guess the point I was trying to get at was... I don't even remember the fucking point now. Oh yeah, watch out for all the gurus. Be your own fucking guru, okay? Come out here not trying to be a guru and trying to tell people what to do, but just trying to help other people by saying the things that you did right and that worked well for you. Anyways, I think that's all. So yeah, I'll see you in a little bit when I do the next one. All right, well, it seems as if I only have a minute left of this video and I didn't even get into anything I want to talk about. See what I mean about the ADD and how I can ramble on and on and on and on? But I mean, like I said, these ideas aren't necessarily coming from me. Venus and Gemini makes you be able to create or tell stories through art, according to, I think it was Alyssa. Also has the moon in there, so it affects my mind. And it mirrors it, so like the moon's art's acting like Venus. It's like water, I don't know. Something to that effect, but anyways. So, just to close it off, I'm going to get the next video. I'm going to talk about Kabbalah a little bit more. That's what my focus is going to be on today. About the energy there, about the two pillars, and how that references to the middle pillar and the microcosmic orbit. And I'm going to talk about Pluto, Scorpio, and my generation, and various other things. All right, so initially today I was going to be talking about all the ways our subconscious mind affects us, but instead of giving you that right now, I'm sure you probably already know a lot of ways that it can, but knowing how to affect the subconscious mind and knowing how to take in energy and the reason why the middle pillar and microcosmic orbit is so important to your spiritual growth and getting energy and healing and all of that. Because, I mean, even if you don't understand how these practices heal your body, doesn't matter, it's still going to heal your body. As long as you don't believe too much that you know how to heal your own body with your conscious mind and think that you're healing your body by consciously thinking you're healed, because that's not going to do shit. You got to get that into your subconscious mind. You get the program in your subconscious mind that you're free from disease, free from illness, free from sickness, free from viruses, free from infection, free from, anything maleficent, and you replace it with all benevolent energies that promote healing, that increase cell growth and healing and regenerating. Then you're good. That is what you want to do, but you can also do things to change all that. Now, I went over many times that there's a lot of things that we can't see that we know exists. Like, for instance, the air we're breathing now, I've already said, from your eye to my eye right now. The reason you can see my eye, from you looking at your phone or computer right now, between you and your computer screen or your phone screen, there's air there, but you can't see the air, and that's why you can see the next item. Now, if air had something in it, like when hot and cold mix together, when two airs mix together, okay, you can't see hot, you can't see cold, but when they mix, you can see a change. Sometimes you get fog. Sometimes when it's a really hot day there, you can see fucking little, not mirage, but you know how that you see on top of butane or propane, whenever it starts leaking out or whatever, it hits something. You'll see it get colder, frost up, condensation, basically. You see these types of condensation. So you can see something when the two polarities mix, right? Because you're getting a reaction, because everything has electricity. Now, when you see that polarity, you might not think of electricity or energy, but it is. When the plus and the minus mix on anything, you get a reaction. And that's why with things you can't see, well, whenever the plus and the minus mix, whenever the hot and cold temperatures mix of a gas, of anything, a reaction happens. But anyways, So that's just to set the base for this. It's a type of NLP trick, giving you true facts. Thus, the statement I'm about to tell you, you're going to equivalent as also true. And that's an NLP trick, one of the most subtle ones. That is probably one of the best ones, one of the most profound ones. But anyways, so microcosmic orbit, okay? I think everybody should do both. You can do just the microcosmic orbit. You can do just the middle pillar. Both will work just fine. But to me, they're two kind of different things. And this is just my conceptualization from it. I haven't read this anywhere. I haven't got this from anybody. I'm not taking this from anybody. But the the middle pillar is getting astral energy. You're getting energy from source. When you do your Kabbalistic crossing, unless you're banishing, you're projecting that you are bigger than the world. You're the biggest thing in space, right? The planets are fucking small compared to you. So it's basically like affirming that within your body, you have, because like right now, whenever you're taught in school that Jupiter is the biggest planet, Saturn is the next biggest one, it's far, far away, but we can see it, and then even Mars is not as big as Earth or whatever, but point is, these things are huge and you're small and insignificant. But when you start doing this ritual, you're changing that. You're saying, no, I'm big, I'm large, and I'm significant. And these heavenly bodies are big and I'm small, but there's also a universe, as within, so without, as above, so below. There's also a universe where I am bigger than these planets. So that's why when I first get up there, I'll say hi to them all. Like, hey, what's going on, Sun? What's up, Saturn? What's up, Venus? Looking good, baby. Shit like that. But they're small. Because even the Earth is at your feet. You know what I mean? And that's another way you can conceptualize the whole feet in the ground and the light orb for the middle pillar, but I like to do it my other way. Anyways. So you are bigger than everything, which makes it a lot easier for you to fucking get things to you because you're big, so you can grab anything. But this way, it's like it puts that whole planets as chakras in perspective. Because if they're that small, well, they could be your energy centers. They could line up within your body, like they do, whether you want to think about it the way we're taught in school, the sun being first, and then everything else after that, or whatever, however you want to look at it. Saturn being the first one, Jupiter, which doesn't really make sense, but it kind of does for a male. I've always assumed moon for my sacral, but Jupiter is like the male version of the moon, which is another way of looking at that whole cup thing, right? There's a male and a female version of water. Just like for air, we've got fucking 3, which shows you how important these things are to us. Okay, fire and earth are super, uber important, obviously, because our world is Earth, and then we have Venus, so Earth has 2. Fire only has 1, which means you need some fire, but way too much fire is dangerous. You don't want too much fire. That's why we only have 1 fire planet, okay? And, if you get Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto involved, it gets a little more difference. But just going with the 7 main ones, okay, as a starting point. That's how I look at it. Maybe that's just from my world. Maybe someone who's got a lot of fire might want to add the sun in there, and that's fine. Do it. Do whatever feels right to you. Okay, and that's what I said about the chakras. People like to say this chakra is this planet, this chakra is this planet. I think it depends. Because for a woman, we say where your Jupiter is going to match your man. And for a man, I think, I don't know if it's moon or Venus. I think moon's your mom, so Venus would be your fucking, your wife, technically. And, I have Venus and the moon both in Gemini. And does that mean my mom is like my wife? Well, they got a lot of similar qualities. Both don't drink, don't do drugs, but they're very smart with money. All right, so I don't want to keep going too far down this path there. That's why I kind of stopped the video for a second. But so yeah, Jupiter and either Venus or Moon is where you live for your wife. But just to get into old witchcraft and gods and goddesses for a second. I know Diana is the moon in its entirety now, but at one point it wasn't. Diana has a brother, Atlas, and I know that's Roman and Greek names mixed, but whatever the Venus name in Greek would be Atlas, and whatever the Greek or the Roman name for Atlas, you know what I'm trying to get at, okay? They're brother and sister. And I know it's not Jupiter, would be the other one, because that would be Zeus. But nonetheless, in astrology anyways, Jupiter is a water sign. All right? I have Jupiter in Pisces. I got a double whammy of water there. But it expands my Pisces. But anyways, it's in my 11th house, which 11th house has to do with, I think, money online and a few other things. But obviously that's the most important one that I think of, right? Money, because I'm a Taurus. But point is, what I'm trying to say is there's a male half and a female half to that moon. There's polarity, positive and negative. You have both your nodes, right? There's plus and minus. Why I think Diana used to be the waxing part, okay, would be the plus, and the waning would be the minus. But they're both aspects of the moon, male and female of the moon. But anyway, so, your cup half full, your cup half empty. I can go on and on about that, but that's not what I'm supposed to be talking about. But point is, I think you can decide which chakra is which. If you want your sacral to be the fucking moon, then be it the fucking moon. If you want Jupiter to be your fucking sacral, then be it. Just make sure you think about it. You don't just pick randomly and then don't give any substance to it. Decide what makes more sense to you. Should your moon be down there? And if so, why? Or should it be closer up? Because like the moon and Mercury are pretty quick. So maybe the Mercury is if the Mercury is, you think the throat chakra, well then maybe the moon should be your third eye, It is the mind after all. The third eye is connected to the mind, or it's part of the mind, the mother, right? But anyways, back to what I'm supposed to be talking about. Oh, but another thing about that is, the whole Earth star chakra thing people talk about, right? There's a chakra below your feet. How is that possible? How is that possible? Think about it. Where's the fucking Earth? It's below your fucking feet. Like, really, in the physical. It's below your fucking feet right now. So you connect to it. So the Earth star chakra that everybody has is not necessarily something that's below your body that's just floating around kind of like your crown, right? So you're like, how do I have a fucking chakra up here that I can't even see? Whatever. Well, think about that in a different way as well, okay? You gotta think about that in a different way. If the Earth is down there, where's the moon and where's the sun? Anyways. But the point is, the Earth star chakra is below your feet. And that's why when you do that middle pillar, you see your feet and the Earth around it glowing. Like, that's where the energy is being affected. You know what I mean? Because even the microcosmic orbit, especially the one I listen to, it tells you to do that. It tells you to see the energy going down, out of your feet, and back up through it. Which, necessarily you don't even have to do that for the microcosmic orbit, to be honest. I like using that one because it helps me guide my visualizations, but I don't do necessarily everything he says and I'll explain that in a bit when it comes to the whole tongue thing. So maybe I should tell people that. But if you started using that one and doing it, awesome. Good fucking job. It's a good way to train your mind to see what they says. But there's maybe a few differences that I would do. And once again, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to stick to these little fucking things. But your tongue is uber important. But anyways, the Earth star chakra, is the Earth, okay? It's the other Earth element that we are currently working on. And then when we finally evolve this fucking planet, well, then there'll be fucking 2 Earth fucking signs for the next fucking planet that ends up being developed. Or maybe shit's gonna be developed on Mars next. Or maybe we're going to Venus next. Who fucking knows? I don't know how it works. I'm just trying to throw out ideas. But nonetheless, Earth star chakra is below your feet because the Earth is below us. She's below us. She receives us. We're positive. We're above her when she's minus, okay? But anyways, so back to what I'm talking about, the microcosmic orbit and middle pillar. They're both important because the microcosmic orbit is taking the energy that is circulating your body, that your body is kind of producing. But what happens is it runs up, there's 2 channels. The one runs up your back. I think it's blue. And it also has a more specific name that I can't remember or probably pronounce. But it runs up your back and then comes around your head and then it goes into your mouth. And when it comes into your mouth, it goes down, is it the front of the spine? Yeah, it goes down the front of the spine through you. And from there, it switches and comes back up the back of the spine within you and then comes back out. And now it's doing the opposite of the way it came in. So it's like 2 channels, right? It's one and then the other. And this actually almost makes the fucking, the sign for, the yin yang sign. If you really look at it, that's what it makes. It makes the yin yang sign. That's the energy going into your body. But see what's happening is the energy is coming in and then it goes back out. So the energy that you just received, is not staying with you, it's leaving you. Instead of being replenished, you get replenishment energy, but then you get deplenished. You know what I mean? And this is the energy that you use every day. This is also energy your body needs for healing and stuff like that. You can say, well, I thought that's what the alkaline water was. Yes, but when you make a plant, what does it fucking need? Well, it needs the oxygen for its photosynthesis to it needs carbon dioxide so it can exhale oxygen for us. It needs water, and it needs the sunlight. It needs those three aspects. Something from Earth, right? The fourth element, something from Earth, something that's made out of Earth, needs air, water, and I guess the sun is still technically air, but the sun is technically still it's part of the air elements as far as I'm concerned, but in this sense it's more like your breath is more like pranayama. It's the oxygen your body needs. You need to be able to breathe in correctly through your nose. Now this energy is it's strange, but anyways, kind of hard to describe, but it would be the same way how the tree breathes in carbon dioxide and exhales oxygen. We breathe in oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. But this is etheric energy. This is the energy we don't see that we get. And this is why when you start doing this spiritual practice by visualizing the energy that's not there, well, now people have done this in the past and trained at it, and they must have felt pretty fucking crazy the first few times realizing that I'm supposed to believe there's something around me and it's going in me and then coming out of me, and that's why I don't live as long, that's why I'm not as healthy, and just by putting my tongue up to the roof of my mouth that somehow stops it. Well, yeah, what have I been saying? I'm supposed to breathe through your mouth. But anyways, so whatever this prana, this chi, this Qigong, this is where this practice comes from, is Qigong. I love Qigong, by the way, and I put a bunch of those PDFs also attached to my podcasts on various episodes. If you look at any of them, you might have to search for a little bit, but any of them that say Qigong in the name of them, around those episodes, you're going to find the PDFs for Qigong and Advanced Kunji, and I think 2 more of the books from the same guy, Mantiak. I hate when I fuck up these people's names because they're so awesome. They did so much for these movements and shit. So, but anyways, when you put your tongue up there, you stop the energy from going in your body. So instead of the blue channel coming up your back and then down, and then going back through you and then coming back out, and then going the opposite way above. So this is how it creates 2 channels. And then then the reason why it's 2 channels is because now you have 2 multiple going. You have your energy coming out and energy coming in. So it takes twice as much energy just to keep you going. Whereas if you block that one channel from going in you, and basically what happens is when you start putting your tongue up in the air, this is how I perceive it once again, but when you put your tongue up against the roof of your mouth, you stop that energy from going inside of you. So the energy is going around your body. It's going within you. Okay, it's not going within you. It's going around you. And by that process, you're harnessing that energy more, because that energy is always coming down to you, because most people have to have more of it coming, because it comes in and it goes out, it comes in and it goes out. So if you are one of the people that a couple times a day practice what you're doing and opening up these channels, and this way it hits, because the way I'm having a hard time, sorry. Okay, so the way this works is because all these, there's 12, I guess I'll talk about the vortexes, or I don't want to call them chakras in this example, but a lot of them are connected to vertebrae, meridian points of the body. So whenever you simultaneously give your chi to all these parts on your body without it having to go through your body, because when it goes through your body, it's finding the path of least resistance, really. It's trying to get to all those spots as fast as it can, but it's the longest way by doing it that way, but it has to follow a specific route. You have to do a little bit of guiding. Probably why when you fall asleep, when people have a seizure, their tongue's in the back of their throat, and they say shit like that, well, maybe because when you do that, you can feel a little bit of electricity on your tongue, and what is a seizure? Well, anyways, but so by doing this, you are getting these things to hit multiple. And then by visualizing it, hitting it, and going it faster and faster and faster, you're basically manipulating this energy that we can't see, but that's there. And when you start doing that process, you're hitting all these centers. And it's not really around your body, because it is, but they're like vortexes. So when you get this energy to go through them, because these vortexes are already kind of like spinning, but whenever you start hitting this energy from the wherever it's coming from, I'm not going to say the sun, but it's coming from somewhere, the source basically, and this is like life energy. And whenever you have that coming in, whenever it's hitting all these vortexes at once, it does so much for you. Like I said, I was doing this every day before work at one time, and it was better than fucking coffee, man. And and I stand by that because it's true. I'm not lying about that whatsoever. It's not me talking it up, because I was very leery about doing this, and because it was a hard thing to practice and a hard thing to learn. And then I found that video that helped me visualize it. When I added that to all the shit that I learned from books and videos and stuff like that, it all just kind of clicked one day, It took a while to sink in. But that's why putting your tongue at the top is important. Now, when the guy's talking about it on the video that's in my playlist, he tells you to put your tongue up, tap it a few times, up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't do that, because I know your tongue has to be there, so I just start off the fucking video with my tongue there the whole fucking time. And I don't know, that's what, because you want some of that energy to go inside you and stay inside you, maybe, like an inner and an outer, but that's uncharted territory. I don't really know, so who knows, but I'm sure fucking, because right now it's coming through my fucking mouth, right? If this energy is going through us all the time, so I got more than enough in there already. But anyway, so that's one of the things I start off with. Once again, I don't always visualize it going all the way down to my feet, out through the earth and back up, but because technically it goes down to your root and comes back around and around and around and around. But I don't know, I find it feels better when I do that as well. So I'll leave that up to you. Do your research and see what people say about that, I guess. So that's the microcosmic orbit. And this is the energy that's coming from your Dantian. I think it's how they pronounce it. Dintin or Ton? I think it's Tian. But anyways, in my perspective, even though the microcosmic orbit comes all the way down through your feet, and I kind of see it go down through me, and I kind of make it like a fucking figure 8 around me, and I make it grandiose, baby, when I do my shit. But when I do that, I kind of feel like that's something that gives the energy into my lower dantian, in a manner of speaking. So what I was trying to get at a long time ago, like fucking 4 videos ago, when I put on that thing, if I'm not in a rush to do the microcosmic orbit right away, if I'm going to bed, let's say, and I almost always do this right before bed every single night, before I put on a recorder, if I'm trying to put something in, which I haven't been, because everything's going pretty good right now. I'm actually having a really good time during this pandemic, to be honest, but no work, and I got money, and I've got all the stuff I need. I'm having a good time. I'm recording video after video after video, getting to talk about occult stuff. I mean, I'm loving it. I still made a podcast once a week. Fucking, it's great. Couldn't ask for anything more. I'm so grateful to everything and everybody. Even the ones that, if they're doing this out of hate and malice and trying to depopulate, well, then great. And if they're doing it to try to force us to evolve, well, then great. I'm grateful for them for doing this, so I have this time off. So this is a message to whoever's the evil geniuses or just the spiritual gurus that are trying to wake us the fuck up by the opposite polarity. Thank you. I appreciate it. But anyway, so I'll put on the microcosmic thing, and there's about 6-7 minutes before we get to the lower Dantian. Fuck, I hate that word. Everything else is to try to get you in a hypnotic state, but I can do that in a second, so I don't really need to do that. But anyways, what I'm doing is I lay down, and this one, when I do it like this, when I do the microcosmic orbit, right after my ritual, this is always the one I do at night before bed. I lay down on the couch. I put the recorder on right from the start, or I put the video on. That's the one on my playlist. I put it on, and then as motherfuckers talking, I'm doing my ritual in my head, and that's how I practice doing my ritual in a busy setting with something chirping in my fucking ear. And maybe it's the whole Moon and Gemini thing makes my mind always going and talking, so I need some sound to drown shit out. Maybe, I don't know. I don't seem to have a problem with that anymore, but it definitely used to be a problem. But yeah, so it takes me about 6 to 8 minutes now to do my whole ritual. Kabbalistic cross, lower banishing, middle pillars, the greater banishing, the lesser greater banishing, so many other things I'm not going to mention. But yeah, I can fucking breeze right through it. So, and I mean, in my setting, I'm in my temple, I'm fucking butt naked, and fucking candles lit, incense going, offerings. I'm seeing the fucking watchers, the planets, the archangels, elements, elementals, you name it. I got a fucking party going on about it. And then I fucking cancel it all out, and he's just starting to tell me to fucking bring my key down to my sacral if I was taking a little extra, and if not, he's at the stage where he's asking me what color it is and which way is it spinning. He leaves it up to you, which is the smartest way to do it. Because if you're trying to auto-hypnosis yourself or anything like that, when you start giving absolutes, like see the blue color going left. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, in my head it was green, it was going right. You fucking lose the person. So when you say stuff like, see the key, you allude to things and make their mind come up with the responses. And that's all you need to do. It's way more simple than people make it out. But anyways, so I think that's enough about that for today, for now. But there's something else I wanted to say. But yeah, so that's why I like to do my middle pillar first, because I feel like the middle pillar is how maybe that gets restored. Now, I read the books and I know what they say about the lower and the upper dantian and all that. So this is just what I think people need to hear right now, to maybe help. Maybe there's certain people out there that need to start doing both. But I really think the microcosmic orbit, if you're going to pick one to do, I think you should alternate, really. But because the middle pillar got me pretty far just by doing the middle pillar all the time. I wouldn't be where I am right now if it wasn't for the middle pillar. So I'm not going to say the microcosmic orbit's more special. And I think the middle pillar is great because you're doing it in the cosmos with your ritual. So to replace the middle pillar with the microcosmic orbit, which you're sitting down and you're watching the earth, the energy flow through the earth, and this guy's telling you you're in a chair in a room with like candles and all that, and it's not really in line necessarily with the ritual that I do. So I never replace the middle pillar with the microcosmic orbit. Okay, but when it comes to making thought forms and egregores, well, that's a whole different ball game. I still use the middle pillar during my ritual, but then when I'm coming to bring those fuckers alive and give them fucking some universal cosmic energy, well, that's what I'm pulling out, because I'm getting more meridian centers going, more vortexes going than just the ones going up and down throughout my body. There's way more than that in your body that you can use, and it's probably essential to use. So anyways, that's a whole lot of weird information I guess I gave today from Microsoft, but it all has to do with ritual. And the reason I'm going over the ritual processes and the reject, banish, deny, and I gave you the exact example of me winning the ticket, and I won 3 times now within the same week, because today's Thursday, and I think the first ticket I bought was last Thursday. Or Friday. Yeah, no, it was Thursday, because Friday I went over to my mom's for Easter, and we're back there again Saturday. And then Sunday came around, and then I won again on the Saturday, and then I just won again yesterday on the Wednesday. So 3 times in 1 week. I won $7 twice and $3 another time. So that's a total of $17, which is a total of 8, baby. The infinity number. Whoa. Mercury's number. Whoa. The fucking, the infinity symbol of, we were just talking about the yin yang. It's like 2 8s basically in there. Well, it's like 1 8 there, but with the 2 circles there, you can make, because there's an 8 within an 8 within an 8. But anyways, it's infinity. So kind of a cool number, right? For this whole teaching little fucking thing. So, and I'm telling everybody this shit because I want people to start practicing little things. If you don't want to do a lottery ticket, then don't. Do something else. But keep going, keep practicing, keep getting better, keep making your shit get stronger. If you don't want to learn from me, learn from Frederick Xavier. Go to his beginning of his series and make that sigil. Problem is, it's an orange ball now if you listen to me, but it doesn't matter. One of these days you'll forget that you even did the orange ball, because every morning you'll probably wake up, look outside to see if you got an orange ball in your yard. But the one day you'll just forget about it, and all of a sudden it'll be there, and you'll be like, holy fuck, the whole set it and forget it thing works. And that's what I'm trying to teach with the lottery ticket. Lottery ticket, you can win, but it's very hard while you're playing a game trying to win money to forget about the fact that you manifested money and what are you going to do with the money and all that shit, because it's not what are you going to do. It's, oh, I'm so grateful that I won this, and then let that go. You know, that's the trick, because if you want to win money, you can by doing affirmations over and 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 over again. But I'm pretty sure it still follows that line. It's like one of those days where you're doing your affirmations and you really don't think it's going to work. And you're just kind of in the give up mode, and you're kind of this shitty kind of whatever mode, and you're on the grass, you're barefoot, and all of a sudden your wife's like, holy fuck, this ticket that you're about to shoot out, you just won $1 million. You're like, what? Freaking out, you know, that's how it works. So anyways, this is what I'm trying to teach. And the reason why, like, I wrote Magic Eyes Only, and this means war on some of these videos, is because it's time to fight back. But we got to fight back the same way they fight us. They're using this stuff against us. It's time to use it against them, but in a way that benefits us and not in a way that hurts anybody. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? So, if you watched the previous video, that was all taped yesterday. The majority of it was taped before I did. Actually, it was all taped before I did the tickets. And before I really knew what the hell I was doing. So after that, we ended up going for a ride, me and my wife, and then I came back home, I don't know, when the baby fell asleep, 9:30, something like that. At which point, I started doing my candles. I did the Jupiter candle, and then I lit up Jupiter, and then I did the Venus candle, and then I lit up Venus. And then I put on my headset, put on microcosmic orbit, and then I did my ritual in my head, lesser banishing, circle, Kabbalistic cross, you know, lesser banishing, middle pillar, the hexagram, lesser banishing of the hexagram, and then, you know, statement of intent that I wrote on both candles. I offered those candles to, and all the incense to both Jupiter and Venus. I said basically what was on my candles, which is basically thank you for all the winnings, known and unknown, all the extra currency. I don't know. I'll do a more specific video on exactly what I wrote, and maybe even set the camera up so it can see me carving on it and tell you exactly what I wrote, show you on a paper, because you can't really see when you carve on a candle all that well. But anyways, and then I went, after that, got up, had a smoke. It probably wasn't completely 3 hours, but the goal was 3 hours after. So it was basically probably closer to today, being Saturday, but regardless. So I'll show you both cards, and this way you can, judge for yourself to see how, you know, if it's really me creating this in my reality, because I believe in my method so well. I believe in my method so much. Anytime I get thoughts of me losing, I banish those thoughts away, and I accept the thought of me winning. I don't say a specific amount, because I don't want to. Anyways, I don't say a specific amount. I just affirm and accept the thought that I will win, basically, more or less. And, you know, every time I have to do that, which during the first card I scratched, I didn't do it once because I was listening to stuff about the, very hard to pronounce this, but it's Irish Celtic mythology, the Tuatha de Danann, basically. Very cool mythological stuff. And but anyways, you'll see it in my recently watched playlist if you look at such things. But anyways, and during the second card, I had to do it twice. I had to stop what I was doing. So the second card probably took me about an hour to scratch. But yeah, so anyways, let me get to showing you the barcodes and then get to scanning. All right, so last time I did it a little differently. I had the tablet, and then I used my cell phone. And now I'm doing the opposite. I'm holding the tablet and with my cell phone recording. So let's start. Oh shit, the fucking thing turned off. Alright, 1 second, everybody. Sorry about this. I'm not the most talented person when it comes to this shit, but anyways. Alright, so let's see if this first card's a winner or not. Fucking shit. Alright, let's see if I can get it done now this time. Recording this shit. Alright, not a winner. Alright, so just so you know, that was for this one. The one that said middle pillar, the one that had Moody, the one that had 030 was not a winner. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, keep this on record. Oh, there it is again, everybody.
Winner, gagnant.
Just so you're here a little bit longer, so you don't think I'm faking.
Winner, gagnant.
So fancy that. I am another $7 winner. So now it's been more than a week now, because previous week when I was doing these tickets, I went from Thursday to Friday is what I said. And yesterday was Friday, so that would be the 8th day. Thursday to Friday, Thursday to Wednesday would be a week. And then yesterday being Friday would be 2 days in the new week. Anyways, point is, it's over the week. That's why I redid the spell, redid the candle magic. But if you count it all up, that's 3 $7 winners, which makes 21 in the first initial win of 3. Well, that makes 25. So 2 plus 7 makes 7. That makes 4 7s in a row. But technically it was 3 7s. I got a $3 winner, and then I got 3 $7 winners. 37, which makes 10, which makes 1. But, you get what I'm at drift. Each one of these cards cost $3 each. So, anyways, I'm not going to keep adding a lot of shit up. All I'm trying to prove here is that, with this ticket right here, that if you go back and watch the other video, you'll see the barcodes. Previous video, when I did the other recording, you'll see that they're different tickets once again. This time I actually recorded these tickets before they were scratched and the barcode to prove that I had that much faith in this system. Frederick Xavier promotes that Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation teaches in the book. That much, because it's not me. It's me putting faith in Venus and Jupiter. It's me putting faith in the planetary energies, the chakras. It's me putting faith in myself and the subconscious and the system of what we put into our subconscious mind, what we allow to manifest, what we get through to the subconscious mind, what we consciously impress on the subconscious. I'm probably doing this wrong, but anyways, will play out once when you're conscious, right? You can consciously project on your subconscious, but you have to let that go after. You have to have complete faith in what you're doing. Because if you're thinking about it, worried that it's not going to manifest, or even if you're sure it's going to manifest, but you're still thinking about it, well, you haven't let it go. The subconscious hasn't been able to work on it. You're still in a conscious mind. You're still in the projection phase. Your subconscious mind is still like receiving. So you just projected that you're going to win, yet now you're still thinking about it. Maybe thinking about it not like winning, that you're not going to win. Anyways, the point is, you have to be in a receiving state. Now, I said last time when I won the $75 and $100, I was outside both times. After I won this the $100 ticket, I said, "Fuck it, I'm going to do them all outside." But then winter came, and it's cold. Also, those days though, I also gave $20 both times to my father-in-law. I went through this in my podcast. So, was it because I had the affirmations every night going? Was it because I was doing the candle magic, saying I was a lucky person? Was it because I was outside? Was it because I gave money away, so I received money? You know what I mean? I got 75 and 100, and I had to give $40 away to get 175. To me, that's a pretty good fucking deal. You're closing the circuit. You're completing the circuit. You give money, you receive money. You send out hate, you send out a curse. Once it affects that person, whether they receive it, fucks them up a little bit, you'll probably get to them, but then it has to return back to you. You know what I mean? That's the circuit. So if you send out love, if you teach people how to manifest and they manifest, well, then it comes back to you. If you send your enemy money, let's say you wish them, in your reality, you give gratitude and thanks for the way they treated you because it made you grow. And and you affirm that in your reality they are now wealthy and healthy and they received everything they've ever wanted and they are now happy. Well, once it goes through your enemy, it's going to come back to you. And you're going to receive that shit. Everything is a cycle. Everything is a circuit. So if you don't want to try the ways I'm teaching how to manifest, well, this is another way to do it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you believe it. If you don't, that's fine. You don't need to. I'm not going to keep doing this to prove myself, okay? But, that's twice now. And this time I even recorded the barcode prior to doing this. And, I knew that the planets were going to allow me to have at least $7. I'm obviously always hoping more, but it is what it is, right? You learn how to do this, what I'm doing. You get to the point where you can get $7 every time when you buy 2 cards, right? You get $7 every single time. I mean, that stacks up. I go trade in my 3 cards right now. That's $21. You know what I mean? But anyways, You learn how to do this, and you grow on it. You grow on it. You grow on it. You know, you got to be polarized so that you're not just going to keep winning and get stuck and develop a gambling addiction. You know what I mean? Because if you have that potential, well, they're not going to give you more than $7. All right. But anyways, I'll probably be back on later to talk about Pluto and Scorpio, that generational thing, being, you know, anybody from 1983 to 1995. I was born in 86, May 11th, 5:30 a.m. I have Pluto in Scorpio, but I also have one of those interceptions around there because the sign before Scorpio is what? Libra, the Virgo. Well, my sixth house starts, and I think it's Virgo, goes right through Scorpio, and then right to the next one, which is Sagittarius, I think. I'm not sure, but anyway, so just like where my Pisces goes over top of Aries and then starts in Taurus. So my 12th house and my 6th house are fucking huge. Goes my 12th house goes from fucking Pisces to Taurus, right? So Aries is in there, but it doesn't start or finish in Aries. It finishes in Taurus and starts in Pisces. So I skip that whole sign. Just like in Scorpio, I skip the whole Scorpio sign. Yet I have Pluto and Scorpio there. My north node or south node is in right on the edge of Pluto, right on the edge of Scorpio. But it's in Virgo. It's right like the line right before. But yeah, anyways, hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have much luck, much success, and I know everybody who watches this, who believes in it, will have the same amount of success with tickets and every other endeavor. Have a good one. Anyways, so far I've made 15 videos to this series for Magic Eyes only, as hopefully for people who are already studying, doing, practicing, learning, experiencing the art of magic, high magic, witchcraft, low magic, black magic, white magic, painful magic, loving magic, doesn't matter. Mythologies, Egyptians, Greek, whatever, Norse, doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, you're in magic, it's just for you. You know, polarize towards one side or another side. If you're against other magical practitioners, please leave my page, because I don't want to fight against any magical practitioners. What I want is magical practitioners united for a common goal to, you know, let's fight against each other freely and see who's more powerful after we take down this system. Not necessarily take it down, fix the problems we got, rid ourselves of stupidity, whatever we want to deem as the issue. Obviously, we can't agree on whatever. It doesn't matter. Point is, I'm just trying to teach people magic. So this is the first video introduction to it, I guess, even though I already had one prior. During this series, I use a ticket, a scratch ticket, and what I use and how I manifest and make sure I win on the such scratch ticket. And I show proof of me winning one, but, you know, who knows? I got 2 more to scratch, which I'll be scratching shortly. And to see, you know, if I won, so I'll expect that in the next couple of days to see. But yeah, so the last video in this series, and probably this video as well, but the last one on the series has the Great Work of Self-Transformation PDF attached in the description. And it's free online to grab this on PDF Drive and various other places. I'm pretty sure you can just Google it. Great Work of Self-Transformation, Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation PDF, and you'll get fucking 3 or 4 sources. So I'm not too worried about getting in trouble for putting it on there. However, you start reaping benefits from any of these practices, send me and Thomas Christopher some fucking energy, some gratitude, some whatever you want, okay? Definitely, though, because you're using his system or the system he developed from various places and what he put together. But I'm telling you, it's got great power. This is where most of the stuff I talk about comes from and variations of it. But anyways, once again, this teaches you to reject, banish, deny. This teaches you no pillar. This teaches you lesser banishing. When you get to the earth grade, it teaches you the greater hexagram. Everything in here that you need to do is attached within this book. It explains things in detail multiple times with the neophyte stages and all the things you need to pass. It gives you all these different books that you need to read. Now, earlier on in my podcast on Spreaker, I attached a lot of those books in the PDFs to it. Cece, don't touch, please. No games. Aw, you just made me get rid of my video. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, I love you. Anyways, all the books that you need. I'm pretty sure I put all the PDFs earlier on. As you can hear, I need to deal with my little baby. Where are you? Oh shit, she's naked. Okay, we can't put that on there. Anyways, so that's as far as I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed. Get the PDF. Work on depolarization so you can use both sides evenly and so shit doesn't piss you off. And so you don't think everything's evil and of the devil. Understand that people make things of the devil so people stay away from this shit. In all honesty. 1 second, baby. Okay. You gotta give me a second though. Daddy's not done doing what he's doing. I guess I am. Anyways, all right. Thank you. All right. So, sorry, I'm leaning over my bed. All right. Oh, fuck. Just start. Anyways, so as an experiment, being a new week now, and I haven't done a candle yet for Jupiter or Venus for winnings. I forgot to do one yesterday. I fell asleep, and now today's Friday, so I'll do the same thing I did last week on the candle, and then I'm going to show you that here's two tickets that had already been bought previous to doing these two candles. Now you can believe me if you want. You can always say later on whenever I win on these things and say, well, he probably already did the candles before, so therefore he's lying. Well, if that's the case, I still performed magic for the winning, so it'd be just a stupid point to make. But anyways, so there's the two tickets. I guess I should probably get the barcodes down, and then whenever I show you the winnings on them, show you the same barcodes. So yeah, let me do that. So as you can see, there's the one barcode, 3133227. That's the same number on each, but the last number, 030 and 060, being adding up to 9. That's kind of cool. Hopefully that brings luck. The one being lotion, the one being middle. Middle pillar, baby. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Anyways, I see something that's going to be pretty cool. But anyways, so that's my two cards I haven't scratched yet. Now, apart from doing this and telling you that I haven't done a candle yet for Venus or Jupiter like I did last week when I won the two $7 winners and the $3 winner, and then showing you the cards before and after and telling you I didn't do a spell yet, and hopefully you take me at my word for that. But like I said before, regardless, if you think I already did a spell, and I'll be doing a spell again, then still proves that the spell helps make it. But this is the simplest form of money magic, and all I'm trying to prove here is if you can reject, banish, deny the thoughts you have of losing, accept the thoughts that you win, and then you do the candle and you're engaging the elements, showing them the watchers that you want to win, you get that in your mind. I don't know if you're a very beginner if this will work or not. I'm guessing it will, but all I'm trying to do is prove that that you can do this. Once again, this is a basic level of money magic, but like I said before, start off with getting $7 and $3 wins, and then the $3 gets you back, and then you get it up to $7, and maybe you get that up to 20, and then this way you can track your progress and receive more and more and more and more skill and fine-tune your magic better. Just a way of maybe doing it. Maybe it's not a good way of doing it, I don't know, but it's a good way to practice on not being hopeful and wishing and waiting for the money, because this is gambling. And gambling is one of those things where people get addicted to. So if you can actually control your urges to win and keep yourself in a neutral receiving state while you're doing these, I'm telling you right now, the two times I won $75 and $100, I was outside when I won. So maybe that plays into the whole thing I said about whenever you're outside, feet on the ground, you're in the receiving mode because you're nature, you're syncing up with nature being outside. Like when I said, when women spend too much time outside, they sync up with the moon cycles, they're syncing up with nature. Well, if you're syncing up with nature and you're trying to draw money to you, well, the longer you're outside and you're in the female receiving, you're able to receive stuff, right? You project your shit out with your conscious mind, the male mind, and then you have to be in the female version of yourself. You have to be the cup that is empty, who is willing to receive and get filled up. So anyways, now, being that I promoted, or not promoted, but I gave the PDF whenever, I don't know when I'm playing this, but I put the PDF for the Kabbalah and the Great Work of Self-Transformation on my latest video and the newest introduction video to Magic Eyes Only. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't talk about Mind and Magic Friedrich Xavier, which I talk about probably way too much, but it's better to talk about, promote his channel than it is to keep taking audio clips from him, which he's never actually did a claim against me or anything. Maybe he doesn't know about it, so anyways, I hope he doesn't get mad, but I'll put a link down below for his newest video, which he gives three more ways to do money magic in a time of need. These 3 things are from his best-selling program, which is all about money magic. So definitely check that out. One's a talisman, one's something you can do outside in your yard with incantations. I forget the other one. I haven't tried any of them yet, to be honest. Like I said, I take all his information from him and I develop my own things and I use my own mind to believe it. Now, many people have used his programs. Many people have used the ways he's probably put on there. Invoking this food, you're taking it in, and that is likewise banishing the stuff out of your body you don't want, basically, is how I conceptualize it, and I think I might even say in that book, so to speak, in a manner of speaking, but it's a great book to put on at night to really affirm and reprogram your mind to be able to perform mental magic. Once again, whatever you put in your mind is going to play out. Whatever programs you have already in your mind allow you to use these different software applications, which Sigil Magic is a software application that works if you have the programming that Magic works. Do you understand? So that's something that's very important that I've tried to over and over and over again say and prove. So I'm going to do the sigil in front of you on the paper. I'll do the statement of intent, possibly separate, although I don't really need to for the purposes of this, because really all I need to do is that for drawing money sigil. I will leave some harm free, so motive B, but still I think it's important to write down exactly what you want. So, meaning, I am grateful for receiving $400. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'll put it at $100. For receiving $100. Anyways, I'll write down in front of you exactly what I'm going to put to give you a little more